Going live, going live. Hey, everybody, how's it going? So sorry for not making it the last day. I don't even remember what day it was. Wednesday, Thursday, Satan Taco Tuesday. What day was it? I don't even know. Yeah, today. Happy Easter, by the way. Happy Easter to everybody. Um, I only know that because today's Sunday and people said it. I don't know. How are y'all? How are you guys holding up? I'm so glad y'all are here. I'm glad to be here too. Happy Easter. Hey, we're live. Yay. Yeah, so I wanted to maybe just kind of bring it back to why we are here in the first place. What brought us here? What all boring stuff and stuff that Cresha K did not know anything about going into this. And I'm sure a lot of us did not know a lot of these things that we now know, and we're like, "Why do I know that?" And it's because this case has oh my gosh, I've had to research everything, and it's been difficult research all the way. So, I was debating on whether to do this live stream, I just said string. I was debating on whether to do this today about the family dynamics of the Cox family, but we've got the rest of our lives to talk about that. And I feel it's really important to just kind of know why we're here, where we started, where Chad and Lori started, which is really, why we're here. And maybe there are some who will stumble across my channel and will be like, "Oh wow, didn't know that." And um You know, God bless you. That's all I can say. Because holy cow, this is a lot of stuff and a lot of people, a lot of Mormonism. Okay, just a lot of Mormonism. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey guys. Oh, happy Easter to you guys too. Are y'all ready for tomorrow? Is your anticipation up? Mine's starting to be right now. It wasn't until now when I mentioned it. December 2019. Ugh, right. God, thank you so much for being here and just for caring, okay? Some of you guys are here because it's affected your own family. Some may be here because Tylee and JJ, you know, uh, showed up and they were missing, and the craziness of the case grabbed you and pulled you in, okay? And I'm so sorry about that. I remember it just being a blur. It's a whirlwind. I don't really know how to describe it. Um, it was so uneasy and scary, curious, mysterious, enraging. Just because I knew that Lori had, with her brother's help, got rid of my uncle Charles, and that day changed my life. The day I found out, it shocked my system. I was traumatized. I guess, yeah, I've read about it, and no, my life would never be the same. I don't even know what or who. I don't know who I was before this. There's, little memories here and there, vague, but my life changed that day, and I don't know. It's like I used to be one of those people. I do remember that, like I used to be one of those people that I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I was 40 whenever like all this happened. I'm 46 now. I'm about to be 47, and I have done this to find out why. Who and why what is it, just to figure this out. Why is all this happening? Why did all this happen? Why are we here? Why are we here? Oh, and there's a lot of reasons why we're here, and it always will fall back to Chad and Lori are the ultimate people to be responsible for all of this, all of the death, all of the pain and the court cost and the taxpayers' dollars and time we will never get back. Okay. And she's still doing it. They're still going to do it for the rest of our lives. So, just might as well not even get hung up on that one. But I mean, it's just like, how did we get here and why? And, yeah. So, I mean, that's what I set out to do and difficult research and, mainly because it has cult in the word. I thought it was pretty cool word play. It was a playlist I had named. I have tons of playlists. I'm sure if anybody visits my playlist, you're probably like, what the hell? Okay, I get it. I don't know how. I've just not been able to do that yet, but I will. I even thought about just ditching this one and getting a new channel so I can just be organized and whatever. But I've done a lot of work here, and it's not been a waste. Not for me. Every day, every trial, every court hearing, every new breaking piece of evidence or news or surfacing, it just, I'm like, whoa, and it just kind of brings a little more and a little more, and we have to fight for that, and we've had to fight for that, and we're going to continue to fight for that. So just know that, I do too. Deanna. I remembered your name. I remember how to say it. Thank y'all so much. And I do want to make, I've learned just recently because, when I think of the police department letting down Charles, I think of all the police, there's Chandler and there's Gilbert. And so just going through the, the FOIA docs and mainly honing in on my Uncle Charles's cries for help. And there were just some things that I wouldn't say if I were writing a report. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what sex you are. There's some things you just don't say or insinuate, or I don't know. And maybe I'm just too close to the situation and getting butthurt over it. I mean, but there was one instance where the police officer met my Uncle Charles, and you all have seen it most likely. And Gabe's there with him. And he's telling the cop, he's like, he is just trying to explain his wife's wife's craziness to somebody else who's not LDS, who's not obviously, what's the word? Mental health, informed, like, I don't know. There's just some things that, I mean, if you live in a predominant LDS area, I would suggest maybe schooling your cops on the basics. And I know it's extra, but I mean, if you really want to get a hold of it, that's what I would do. I would have loved to have had somebody, just one person that I could have trusted completely. Not just giving me their narrative, not just giving me what they want me to hear, or, maybe they decide that they don't want me to go and delve into where I delved into. Maybe they're just like, well, no, it's more over here. Or I'm just saying there's so many things that can sway you. And a family who is going through a crisis, such as missing children and it becoming a nationwide, manhunt, basically. And And then it went worldwide. There's so many of you from different countries even, I mean, it's just is crazy. I didn't know a lot of these things. I was not tech savvy. I'm really not. I have the basics. I do what I have to do to get here, and that's what I do. So, but I mean, like, just I didn't have a Twitter. I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have all that crap. I had Facebook, and that was it. My kids watched YouTube, and I was like, why are you always on YouTube? I only had YouTube, paid for it, so that I could close my phone and listen to music. That was the only reason I had YouTube, and then my kids, But anyways, I kept finding myself more and more as, in the beginning of the case, I kept finding myself going from Facebook groups, and then it would lead you over to YouTube. And so I don't know, somewhere along the way I've learned, and I had an idea. I was like, well, I mean, I've had my my YouTube account for years now, just under my name. And I decided, I'm so tired of people dumbing JJ down, dehumanizing Tylee and JJ too. Tylee and Uncle Charles too. Mainly when I remember Melanie Gibb, and just anyway. So I uploaded some videos, some home videos, and I remember the comments like, he can walk and talk, and I'm like, yes. He can talk your head off. He repeats everything that he says, like, holy crap. And so I don't know, just bringing them to life, bringing them the human factor in this, the humanization of the victims became really, really important. You don't realize all these things when you're going through something or just sitting right here, talking. You don't realize these things till you're actually having to think about them and like going through them. Then that's when you have to learn everything really quick. And, that's what I did. And yeah, it's trial and error. Totally, totally, totally. Oh, I know. Oh my God. That reminds me of what RFK Jr. recently said about people with autism. Oh my God, right? Anyways, some people's children, Oh, Judy girl. Let's see. The father was arrested less than a half a mile from me. Remains were, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'd like to get to the beginning of that. Judy girl. I was looking for your name. I'm so sorry. That's so terrible. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Bewitched. I guess it's Salisa, or is it Lisa? I don't know. Salisa. Queen Olive Ruth Ann. Hello. We need to normalize and accept divorce and single parents along with unmarried life partners. Amen. We do. And just maybe not want to be a mom or a dad. Just say it. Don't go kill your kids. Don't go, leave them in a freaking house while you go to the casino or live somewhere else. I mean, this has even happened recently. Oh my God, Carrie Ann, what are you doing? It's so good to see you. Hey, beautiful. You're always so pretty. Those big blue eyes. How you doing? I hope you're good. Oh my gosh. Afternoon, everyone from Wisconsin. Justice for Charles. Thank you, Journeys. Bewitched. And make it okay for women to choose not to have kids. It's okay. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to judge you if you kill them. And I'm not going to be the only one. There's this whole army right here in this chat and everybody else who's going to find out. And then the judge is going to judge you and the jury's going to judge you. And it's not going to be good. God's going to judge you. All kinds of people going to be judging. So it's just own up to it. That's it. Quit throwing them away in the trash cans. Quit dumping them and put in plastic bags and put them in the dumpster. Stop it. Like this is, stop trying to trap people with your kids too. Stop using your children as pawns. And I giggled and I shouldn't have, but I mean, it's just like, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but here we are. Kids are not pawns. Ever. 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 Okay. Anyways, all right. Well, let me yeah, we're gonna know why we started here, okay? And it started. This is a good spot where I found a lot of information, along with other places too, but it helped me kind of put things together. And I mean, trying to find a better layout. I'm trying to, just fill in the talk here. No. Yeah, okay, better. That's better. Hey, Emily. Happy Easter to you. I look up to my single friends. I know, right? I know. I remember my best friend I'm 47, so like 40 years we've been best friends. It's anyways, but I had kids. She was one of those that was like, I'm never having any kids. She was that one. She would come over. I would cook dinner. I was married with kids, and she would come over and just like eat, and we'd watch whatever, and then she would just bounce. That was it. She always come eat my food. So anyways, but she ended up having kids, and they're two beautiful kids, Charlie and Tyler, and they're growing up so fast. And I mean, you never know. But for those of you who just aren't feeling it, even after you have kids, just talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, like to send somebody to help or anything, but not yet. There's so many things that we need to talk about a lot. I mean, the mental aware civilians and police, just learning about mental illness, being aware of it, being informed about it. My brother has also, I've seen him go through these things where he would be having an episode, but was it jail or was it, mental uh, health? Was it that or that? And I can tell you 9 times out of 10, it was mental health issues, where he should have gone and the opposite direction than a jail. So, and it clogs up our jails. It doesn't help the problem. It's just a temporary little band-aid, getting the person off the street or away where they can't really, and I mean, they can still harm themselves, I mean, jail is not the answer for people who are having mental issues, okay, or drug issues. It's not the place. So, um, yes, seeking help needs to be supported and active listening. Thank you, Bewitched. I'll just read your comments. Okay, because you are informed, that's for sure. Yeah. Ooh, ooh. Are the people who are running the cult, not sure what else to call it, that Chad was orchestrating, still teaching the same things he was? Absolutely. And they were teaching them before Chad Daybell, and they're still teaching them today. Maybe I haven't heard zombies yet, but again, zombie was just a twist. Pop culture. Okay. It was just in pop culture right now. Today we had The Walking Dead. That was real big. Especially in Arizona. I looked up all kinds of things in the beginning of this, and Arizona was like, holy crap. And then you think about Jason Mao, who we'll get to. He's involved in this case, and he was in a movie that was, these teenagers that were basically turning evil and being possessed. And anyways, a little too close there, J Mal. Anyways, so, on Saturday that he had gone to the temple before I could stop it from playing out of my face. What ritual did you perform? I swear. Okay. I love you. Which oath did you take? Every oath you take. Oh, anyways. All right. I'm finished nerding. Okay. Allegedly. So, I mean, this isn't even really the one I was going to, but I mean, look at Chad. He's just so concerned. Lori just got served. Look, the prophet Joseph Smith. Now this is an LDS based group that's on Facebook. Okay, so just know that they believe in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They believe in Joseph Smith. They believe in restoring the gospel. They believe in all these things. Okay, the basic tenets. And then you have people from all walks of life. But anyways, they mainly just call out people like Chad and Lori, people like Mike Stroud, um, Visions of Glory, Tim Ballard, all the people that are involved in what I call an enterprise. We'll drop you off. Anyways. All right. So just know it's going to be through that lens. Okay. But you learn a lot in the tea leaves. Okay. And so I thank this group for doing this and for holding their ground, because so many other people go and they do the bidding for people like Chad, people like Lori, people like Tom Harrison, especially Tom Harrison. And I mean, they take some crap in the comments. Okay. They take some crap. I'm sure they get some strongly worded emails all the time. So I just want to thank them for being whistleblowers for like-minded people like Lori and Chad. And then, of course, right here in the circle, we have Visions of Glory. Okay. She was reading that when the cops served her, when the police served her in Kauai to produce Tylee and JJ within 5 days and in Idaho. And so, yeah, I remember looking at my copy I have 2 copies of Visions of Glory. Don't buy it. We'll find a way to get it to you, but I tried looking to see about how far she was in the book, just wondering. So it says, on the day that Chad and Lori Daybell were served court papers concerning her missing children, they were found in Hawaii, lounging by a pool while reading the book Visions of Glory. Visions of Glory is a second Bible to the last days prepper crowd. Despite the fact that it is riddled with false doctrine and is very seductive, much like spiritual ornography, okay? Dang. It lures its readers in through a disturbing and darkening invasive influence. We have seen many false teachers arise, most of which have been warned about ad nauseum on this page, all of whom have claimed some kind of special information on how to, on how to survive the last days. They all teach or persuade their followers that they, not the church, I'd say the church butters them up though, gets them ready and ripe, and hungering for more. Not the church, know how to help you have your second comforter. Second comforter experience is something that I believe from all my 6 years of research now that, Latter-day Saints strive to become Christ-like, I mean, like that's the ultimate goal. And then, down the ways you learn, because I mean, I knew nothing about Mormonism, period. End of story. Didn't know my aunt and my uncle were even, I didn't even know they were Mormon. Okay. I'm just throwing that in there. I had no clue. And so whenever all this stuff happened with my uncle and Tylee and JJ being missing, and the case burst into the headlines and the Facebook groups formed. I mean, I was learning so much just by reading comments, basically, but I was just like, it's a Christian church, right? And so I'm just thinking Christian is, okay, you've seen one, you've seen them all. Then, I learned that that is not the case. So, I mean, they're striving to become more Christian like. I mean, Chad Daybell even said to Mike, or was it? No, it was a speech that I think Lauren on Hidden True Crime, they have the speech he did in St. George, Utah, the week or the day that he met Lori. Okay. So this was like October of 2018. And he said in his speech that he was trying to basically trying to appeal to a wider Christian audience. And this has been the case. He actually did this, I want to say, with Suzanne Freeman, which was one of Chad Daybell's. He published books for Suzanne Freeman. Okay, so he was basically like, "Hey, we're just gonna unmormon it a little bit. We're just gonna take a little bit of all that stuff out and just kind of change it around to where, Nephi, when anybody hears Nephi, you're like, who? Moroni? Come again? Like what? Never heard of these people or these names or anything like that. And I was just like, well, it's because I don't know anything about the Bible or anything. That's what I thought at first, like, got me there. So I really am going to have to dig into this, aren't I? And I have, I really did try to get away from it at first. I was just like, okay, no, just using some common sense, but no, that is not how you do this. This is not how you learn about, and I'm not saying enemy, but they're my enemies. They're my opposition. They are doing some really harmful and deadly shit to my family. Okay. At this point, my uncle's dead, was scared for his life. Mom, changed the beneficiary to my mom. My mom was on the hit list. It turns out, just all these things start. And anyways, and it's terrifying. They're terrorists. Okay. Domestic terrorists, straight up. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to learn this, And so I started watching everything, anything, everything, reading anything, everything. I knew about multiple probations. I knew about energy healing. I knew about the second comforter here, which is whenever a Latter-day Saint, I've come to learn that it's the dog whistle. Okay. Nobody sees Christ in the temple. Okay. So I, you know, hate to ruin that for everybody, but it's a dog whistle, and it means that Christ appears to the member in the temple. Okay. That's another thing that people need to know. There is a temple, and then there is a church, separate, same Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints umbrella, same thing. Your members who just go to church, and they're not striving to become temple recommend holders and gain entrance into the temple and to pay that tithing and oh, I have a question for anybody who knows this. So do all members pay 10%, or is it just the temple goers? I would say everybody probably. Because don't they, like 8-year-olds, after they like do their baptism and everything, they start saving up and turning it in? Thank you, Treva. Appreciate you. Hopefully this is the last week of this trial. God bless you, Crusher. Okay, Larry, Jason, Colby, and the extended Vallow family. Love always wins. Thank you, Treva. Really appreciate that. And you, I appreciate you. We all do. It's been a long freaking journey, right? All members are supposed to. Okay. Thank you. I am still learning more sinister facts about this religion I was born into. Isn't that wild? Luckily, she says, I stopped attending over 10 years ago. I wonder what made you stop. I mean, I'm what, you don't have to answer that. But yeah. Hey, puzzle pieces, how are you doing? Good to have you here. Hey, Donnell, how's it going? All members, but you have to pay to be a temple goer. Yep. Okay. Thank you. I was just, just kind of talking that out right there. And oh, thank you, puzzle pieces. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, 6 years. Oh, 6 years for you, Judy? Detective's daughter says, I have learned from my cult neighbor. Thank you, Donnell. Sending it back to you too. Yeah, Nashe Jones. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and that kind of plays into this dark light scale racism. Of course, not dark and not literally dark and not literally light, but it does. I mean, I can tell you that just that's my general consensus, if that counts for anything. Is Kay and Larry going to court tomorrow? I'm sure. I haven't talked to them. I haven't even looked at my phone, y'all, in a couple days. So I've looked at it, just not that screen. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all, Tomorrow's going to be wild. Tomorrow's going to be wild. Who in here thinks that Lori's going to testify, like decide to all the jury questions that they just went over, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of, paperwork and getting everything right because it has to be right. But Jason said that earlier. He was like, I wonder if she's just going to sit here and wait, because he was listening to her line of questioning and how Lori wasn't really rebuttaling anything that prosecution was raising about jury questions. And he was like, she's just being too easy. She's not being difficult right now. So you think so? I think so in her closing too. And then Jason's my fiance. He said that he can picture her, because she is so methodical and calculated and conniving and manipulative. Like it's now, this is us. This is me and my fiance. We think that she's done exactly what she said in her last interview with Arizona Family, where she said that she wants to confront those who lied about her. And that's what it's all about. That's what it boils down to. It's nothing to do with justice for Charles, justice for her, clearing her name, proving to us that she has a $2 million damn life insurance policy that maybe her dad sold. I don't know. We're just like, the evidence proved you're so guilty. And that's without the damning things. That's without, the first however long it takes to play all the body cam footage of my uncle, trying to get her help, and all the things that he said. She's going to kill me. She's going to have an angel there to dispose of my body. And she's a member of the 144,000. She's a goddess to prepare the second coming of Jesus Christ for the new millennium, for the second coming, same thing. So everything that Lori Vallow Daybell has said to my uncle, I have found answers to these questions. And everybody else is still asking them, and I'm not. I've gotten my answers, and I've shared them here, all sprinkled throughout the 6 years of videos and live streams and all the nonsense. Okay. And I'm just trying to make sense of it as a never Mo. I've never been a member of the church, and didn't investigate the church like I was interested in it. I investigated it knowing what Lori and Chad were up to, and then what they did, and then looking at it through that lens. I was looking through these keywords that friends around them were saying, they were shutting down websites and putting them to reader only, and bank accounts were getting hashed down, the middle. And anyways, it was interesting to watch it like implode. It implodes, but they are very much, they're not quitters. I'll tell you that. They're not quitters. And so all they do is rebrand. That's the trend here. Okay. They rebrand and they continue to peddle their shit elsewhere. And they just stay under the radar. And so my thing is, if you're an active Latter-day Saint, then don't you want them gone too? Or do you want them like amongst you? Like, I don't understand that, so I hope a lot of people I don't have a lot of Mormons in here anymore, for sure. I offend them. I'm saying things negative about their church. I'm an anti-Mormon probably in their eyes, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I don't care. Do you? Whatever. I respect that. But it's like, can you respect me in the same breath, where you can say, oh, wow. So, okay, her family members were killed because of this. And her life, my life was even impacted immensely from this crap, so it's like, can't we just work on them from both ends here? Can't we just, do that? So anyways, that's why I'm right here with LDS Energy Healing Exposed. That's this website. So anyway, back to the calling in the lecture. Okay. Whoa. They all teach or persuade their followers that they, not the church, know how to help you have your second comforter. Okay. So that's in my opinion, the second comforter, this thing, what happened with Lori, I don't know if this is in all cases. And I probably could answer that another time, but right now I didn't like prepare for that. So I'm not going to answer that. Like if this is for everybody, but I've learned that the second comforter means that Lori got her, I don't even know what to call it. Permission, mission, maybe, that she was. And so I believe that somebody is handing these missions out. I don't think that Lori was like, "Oh, it's my mission." I don't think she just made up her own mission. I don't know, because it's too weird. Too many people, like Summer Shiflett, her sister. Charles was trying to get Lori's temple recommend taken away again, and so Summer's like, "We know," telling her sister basically along the lines of, um, how dare him try to take away your temple recommend. I know you have an important mission, and it just nope. And it's not just her. There's other people that talk about this. The Blaze Thibodeau, Spring Thibodeau, um, I forget the uncle's name, Brooke Hill or whatever in Arizona. I want to say same ward that Lori came out of. Somebody in this on this page right here actually did a chart. I'm like, whoa, I love the charts. I'm not good at making them, but I like other people making them. I appreciate them. But anyway, so know how to have your second comforter. So it's basically seeing Christ in the temple, but it's not really seeing Christ in the temple. It's just like a dog whistle to other people of like mind, because it is an MLM type system, triangular shape. And it's all by referral. And so there's this thing called the second anointing. And I don't have the real definition for it right here, but I believe it appears to me, allegedly, it looks like polygamy being practiced in today's day, present time. So I believe, and it looks like, according to bloodlines, which are very, 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 very important to Mormons, doing temple work, doing history work, doing all these things, they all kind of tie into bloodline. It always, like, that's the top thing, is the bloodline. Second would be temple recommend holders. Are you going to come in from regular church and you're going to have a meeting with your bishop, with your stake president, to commit your life to the temple? The temple, not really Jesus Christ. Okay. Just anyways, not saying that for everybody, but obviously they did not. Okay. I think it's safe to say by the evidence that they did not follow Christ. They do not follow Christ. Anyway, so, and I mean, again, we had Zalema Pastinez, who's Lori and Chad's sister-in-law now, because she married Alex right at the very last minute. Like, I want to say 2 weeks before Alex died. Convenient, huh? Anyway, so she was talking about getting her calling and election made sure, which is right here, which is right around the steps of doing the second comforter. Okay. It's becoming translated, if you want to translate it into their language there. And the more time in the temple that they would spend, according to their beliefs, the higher the vibration. The higher the vibration, the more they would go to the temple, the more it would rip the veil, and they were able to communicate with spirits and beings and entities and whatever. Anyways, but then that's where this whole and I mean, you're gonna laugh. I laugh. I still laugh, and I'm ashamed to say it, and it's not even my damn belief. I'm just like, oh Lord, what are we doing? What are we doing? But one of the reasons that Lori allegedly wanted my Uncle Charles out of the way was, she said he was blocking her gifts. And you're like, what gifts? And I'm like, I know, right? And then I'm like, to astral project. I know. I had to read all kinds of documents that were just declassified from the CIA website about all this stuff, the megahertz and the vibrations and dual I don't even know. It's too many things, okay? There's too many things. But Mike Stroud was teaching about astral projection, portaling, they call it, okay? Portaling, right? We're all like, "Mm." Anyways, I get it. I'm right here with you. These are not mine. I'm just, I don't know, trying to tell you what I believe this means and trying to make something that's nonsensical make sense. And it's not really easy. And I get looked at like I'm crazy a lot and whatever, I know better. But so, yeah, astral projection, Julie Rowe. I mean, if you go back and read the things, their literature, the things that they've written, the posts that they have talked about, then you can kind of like Visions of Glory. In my opinion, I believe Tom Harrison is just talking about um astral projection and what he sees. It's basically like a psychic, they can astral project and they can what's the other word for it? Um Astral travel, travel in their mind. And I mean, Tim Ballard thinks it's pretty top notch because he used Janet Russin, who was who because his one of the Mormon apostles, M. Russell Ballard. Yeah. Anyways, allegedly M. Russell Ballard was using Janet Russin and a couple other psychics. One psychic's name was Lori, but never heard anything else about her. Would love to know who that is. But Tim Ballard, who is the founder of Operation Underground Railroad, and many of you who don't know who I'm talking about right now would probably know the movie Sound of Freedom that came out and smashed, the box offices and made me cry. I was so pissed about that movie, and I still am. It's a fraud. Tim's a fraud, and everybody around him, in my opinion. So, um, and Tim's part of this crowd here. So it's very important. It's very close to the heart, to my heart. And I don't know. It just bothers me because Tim is a fraud. So many people have paid him, still do. And he is just, he is interesting. I'm just gonna say interesting, okay? But so they, yeah, know how to help you have your second comforter, calling election, how to become one of the 144,000 prophesied of in Scripture, and or even how to become translated. So basically, in my opinion, what all these people do, these false teachers and all these people, okay, they just talk in this language. That's all they're doing. Okay. If you remove Jesus from the equation like they have, they just talk it. That's all they're doing. They communicate in this in the scripture word, in the words of the you heard, if you're following the case, you've heard Lori do it. She does it all the damn time. They talk in this language, and that way it's very inside speak. And so you and I, who have never ran across a Mormon in our lives, we're like, what are they saying? And then we just chalk it off to religious babble, and then we just carry on, but they're over there plotting to freaking take down the whole damn world. And then we're like, holy crap, and they're smiling the whole time, asking you if they can interest you in the Book of Mormon. I'm just like, oh my God. Anyway, so I think it's imperative because if, the church is like, if it's not now, it will be soon. It is the most wealthiest church in the United States of America, but it's almost $1 trillion corporation. So they've been saving all their money. Turns out, buying up land. They love portfolios of real estate portfolios. They love it, allegedly. All right, Visions of Glory and other books by its author have been and continue to be the catalyst for spiritual deception among members of the church. Visions of Glory caters to a sensation-seeking audience, transferring their allegiance from the Savior and his authorized servants to an unknown God. I can tell you which one. An unknowable prophet. The Bible Dictionary's definition of Antichrist is boom, core whore. That's where lore whore was born. Okay. Core whore. It means Antichrist. One who would assume the guise of Christ, but in reality be opposed to Christ. In a broader sense, it is anyone that counterfeits the true gospel or plan of salvation, and that I'm sorry, it's way over here, and my microphone's in the way, and that openly or secretly is set up in opposition to Christ. The great Antichrist is Lucifer. So see what I'm saying? There's like more than one Antichrist. Okay, so one of them is the great one, and so that's going to be Lucifer. But he has many assistants, both as spirit beings and as mortals, unquote. I didn't know that was quoted. I'm sorry. Whether its authors have acted knowingly or unknowingly, being deceived, not having been proven to be a valid defense, I believe this is descriptive of visions of glory. One of the main focuses of visions of glory is the idea of moving through portals. Which should not surprise us to learn that Chad and Lori Daybell claim to also have the ability to move through portals and speak to translated beings. I thought they were translated beings. Anyways, President Brigham Young, so this was another prophet after Joseph Smith, he succeeded. And so there's already different factions of the church. You have the RLDS, you have the FLDS, you have the LDS, the mainstream. And they belong to the mainstream. In my opinion, it's pretty gangsta, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to tear anyone down. I'm just saying, in my opinion. So President Brigham Young once taught that a planchette, a form of spiritualism, would, quote, tell 99 truths and then include one lie that would send us to hell if we believe it, unquote. If you believe it or if you practice it, I'm asking. However, the purpose of my post is not to prove visions of glory false or to persuade others against this work, though there are abundant scriptures and statements of modern day prophets that do warn against such, and cited by others in various excellent and thoughtful reviews. My purpose is to turn people back to a solid foundation, which are the scriptures. We need to measure everything against scripture and the revelations. To do that requires that we know the scriptures very well. She does. Lori knows them very well, Side. And she uses scriptures to manipulate. So this requires significant sacrifice. Oh, they did that. They sacrificed my family and Tammy. Yeah. Sacrifice check. I'm being sarcastic. Anyways, this requires significant sacrifice in time and energy, but the protection is invaluable. One thing that has helped me have the ability to discern between many of the persuasive and seductive voices that have come forward offering to show me or teach me, quote unquote, the mysteries, Mike Stroud, are the scriptures and my understanding of the keys of the priesthood. I'm not going to read all this doctrines and covenants. I'm not going to do it. So, it says, why would any of us who want to obtain the blessings of Israel, so the second comforter, the calling election made sure to become one of the 144,000 to kind of translated being, okay. So why would any of us, who want those blessings of Israel in the last days, seek out any other teacher to learn the mysteries when only one man holds the keys of the mysteries, even the prophet Joseph Smith? Interesting. I'll point some things out along the way. These keys have not been given to Denver Snuffer, Phil Davis, Justin and Rebecca Griffin, or anyone else who are claiming spiritual experiences. Now, other people have spiritual experiences. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints does not hold the market on this. Okay. They're just the middleman of, think about all the other churches, okay, who are doing this kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, I would name them, but I don't feel like having a bunch of enemies right now. So. But man-made religion. Okay. So they're just basically the middleman, just like Tim Ballard and his wife. It appears to me that Janet Russin, the psychic that Tim Ballard used, I forgot to finish this earlier, but Tim Ballard used, or might still, hell, I don't know. I'm not there, but he was using Janet Russin, the psychic, to as intel to find to find trafficked children in third world countries. And while there's no receipts of any child, really being rescued, I mean, ask people who are unaware of all these things, and I mean, they'd have you believing that he rescued the whole damn world by himself. Okay, he did it all by himself. When really, it's just a bunch of wolves in sheep's skin, in my opinion. Just this whole group. I've studied them, but yeah. So Janet was the intel, allegedly, for finding missing kids. Like, and people, donating tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to Tim Ballard's foundations, and not being aware that, the intel that was being utilized was an actual woman from Utah. Anyways, I looked up the name one day. I was looking up Bishop Glenn L. Pace because I was working on the Pace memo, which, if y'all want to know what this case is, go read I have a video on my channel if my mods can go find it and share the link. But it's the Pace memo, and a lot of people like to minimize it and say that, well, those people, the ones that always try to poke holes in things. And I'm just like, this is not the thing you poke holes in. This, in my opinion, I'm not taking it as like fact, but I'm like, holy crap, everything that Bishop Glenn Pace is saying in this memo that was never supposed to be, for public consumption. It was leaked in 1991. So this was never supposed to cross any of our desks, okay? But it has, and it's exposed, and we need to continue to expose it, because you can read it and be like, where is Chad and Lori? Because the stuff, and it's very detailed abuse and torture that are done to these children. And Tylee and JJ are not the first. They were just the 2019 version of what's going on and has been going on that has never been addressed, because people label things and they say that, oh, that's satanic ritual abuse. Oh, that's secret combinations. If you're a Mormon, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Oh, I guess they want the actual videos of these kids getting, what? So, because they want, everybody today wants evidence. And I mean, okay, I mean, it's nasty and it's gross, but anyways, so sorry, my throat. I keep veering off. In fact, all of the above, whoa. Oh, it says Satan is abroad in the land, and he sends false spirits to those who seek signs. In fact, all of the above people were admittedly influenced by the author of Visions of Glory, Tom Harrison, and are actively leading members away from the mysteries of the kingdom. Give to the prophet Joseph Smith. I don't understand. I don't give to the prophet Joseph Smith stuff. But anyways, even the mysteries of the ordinances of the temple. Coincidence? I don't think so. Here are a few questions we need to ask ourselves. Why are members of the church seeking men like Tom Harrison and John Pontius when God already revealed the mysteries of the last days to the prophet Joseph Smith? Have you faithfully exhausted your study of the teachings of the prophet? Okay, I'm not going to read all that either. It's a lot. Why are we going to... whoa. What about the Book of Mormon? Nephi was given a vision of the last days, and he recorded everything we would need to know how to prepare for the end times. What Nephi could not write, he pointed us to John the Revelator and the Book of Revelation to understand the last day prophecies. This is the pure source we should be seeking. Why are we going to men like Avraham Gileadi? That's another one. Oh, he's an OG. Who does not hold the keys of the mysteries to understand the prophecies of Isaiah, when the prophet Joseph Smith received visitations from Isaiah himself, and through the keys of the mysteries, receiving a knowledge. And boy, there's a few places where I've got Lori's gloating about this fact. She's like, I got the higher knowledge, I'm awake, and yeah, this is how they communicate. And they, a lot of people are like, they communicate in plain sight, and they do. So if you're not seeing it, I'm learning too. Like, I'm adjusting the way I'm seeing things, and all kinds of things are popping out, slapping me in the face now. And I've looked at these things 1,000 times, and now I'm just like, oh my God, I never noticed that. So they're not going to change what's working for them. I'm going to tell you that right now. So just consider it. If you do have to look for it. It's not going to just slap you in the face. Like, and you'll just, So, received a knowledge of the meaning of the prophecies recorded by Isaiah. Okay, I don't want to say. Okay, Wilford Woodruff recorded that Joseph Smith received, quote, many visits, unquote, from angels who held important keys during previous dispensations. They talk about dispensations too, including the prophet Isaiah himself, who appeared to Joseph to explain the biblical prophecies. The revelations given to the prophet Joseph Smith contained in the Doctrine and Covenants are the mysteries of the last days and the prophecies we need to follow in order to build Zion and to prepare for the second coming. That's exactly what this hooker right here in the bathing suit was doing. I guess she gave that up. She forfeited it because she's all about that prison life now. She's trying to save people there, and she can't even save herself. And Tylee had said this before. I forget where I heard it from. I mean, I didn't hear Tylee say this, but trying to remember if it was from Colby that said this, that Tylee said something to the tune of, there was a nanny or something, and Tylee said that, it was her friend, Ashlyn Rind. She told her that her mom Lori just wants to fix everybody. She just wants to fix the nanny, and she can't even fix herself, It's crazy. Right here, this lady says, I read Visions of Glory because so many people told me how great it was. Nearly the whole time I was reading it, I had something telling me that something was off. I did finish reading it, but by the time I was done, I felt it was fiction. When my soul gets that feeling that something is off, it has always been right, even when I can't put my finger on exactly, just my experience. So what I'm saying is, it's not just the book, it's Tom Harrison. Okay. Tom Harrison was meeting with, get this. Okay. Hold your pearls, clutch them. If you first time here, Tom Harrison was meeting with Chad, Julie Rowe, Tim Ballard. Well, I'll just say Chad and Julie Rowe. He was meeting with them in his Salt Lake City office, where he's a retired child sex abuse therapist now. Or then he's now retired, but I'm sure he's still in the community. Oh, thank you, Judy girl. Oh, I was 20, knew better. Okay, I'm reading all y'all's comments, and what they're actually bringing is the Antichrist spirit. It's a cult all the way. Nothing Christian about it. I thank you for saying that. I'm like, oh my God, I say so many weird things. People are just gonna be like, no, she's too much. This is just what I've learned. I mean, really, by researching into all these things about my aunt and her friends, I never thought I was a conspiratorial person. I really do have, I always think I had critical thinking. I'm super critical, actually, probably way too critical, but I'm not saying things don't pass over my head. Hey, Mel Mac, glad you're here. How old is Tom Harrison? He's got to be in the 70s for sure. But he was meeting with Chad and Julie, teaching them how to portal. That's astral project. This is right as Chad and Lori are meeting one another. Is that not curious to everybody? Are we seriously saying that Chad and Lori are the cult leaders? No. I mean, there's too much out that we've already, the majority of us who follow this case, who've been digging, steadily, have learned otherwise, that this is so much bigger. Then you see people like Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Frankie. I didn't expect those women at all. I was like, who in the hell are these ladies? And then for Jessie Hildebrandt to come out and speak against their aunt, Jody, and a lot of the things she was saying, I was learning about in the Hamblin case. There's this whole other horrific case, the Hamblin case, that is mainly SRA, which is satanic ritual abuse, or you can call it ritual abuse, whatever you want to call it. I call it Tylee and JJ. I call it Ruby Frankie's and Jody Hildebrandt's victims that we know of. R&E. I say that, I mean, this is what's going on. It's like spiritual manipulation. Tim Ballard, I would say, allegedly also, if he'd ever just get held accountable for all his crap. I mean, and they're, Tim Ballard and Chad Daybell and Julie Rowe have all used the pickup line, I think we were married before in a past life. You dig? And then I don't know. It seems like there's like this LDS, when you're ready to just bear down, when you're ready to just go whole assed into this religion, into the temple, into everything, doubling down. It seems like it's, and I mean, this is going to sound really, really wacky. Jason Mao too. Oh yeah. So just, I'm raw. Okay. So I'm just going to say it because I don't know what to liken it to, but it seems as if there is some kind of like-minded people, right? That's a keyword that they have used, a code word that they have used, that, I mean, Melanie Gibb tells the detectives, the Arizona detective, she's like, like-minded people. And like, it's like cool, or like everybody's just supposed to know what like-minded people means. And we don't, unless, I mean, you can imagine that's what we have to do, because they damn sure don't tell you anything ever. So, I mean, and all these things could be. I'm just saying that they could be a possibility. If this, I mean, there's a lot of piecing together that's going on here. So just know that I'm not saying this is fact. I'm not saying this is how it is. I'm just saying this is what these things are to me. It seems as if there's this recruiting system within, which we know, if you know about the second anointing, if you know about polygamy and how it was practiced back in the day, and then how, the church allegedly or said that they stopped practicing polygamy because the United States was not going to let them become part of the union. They were not going to let them become a state. So, times were hard, and they were like, oh shit, man, we're going to have to give in, but I mean, basically they were like, okay, we promise that we are going to denounce polygamy, and we're going to stop practicing it, and we're going to bleed your pockets as soon as you let us in there. Okay. And so again, Chad was calling for Medicaid. Lori was ripping off Social Security, all the things. Okay. And there's a lot of fraud in Utah. I mean, is that a coincidence? I don't know. I remember watching that clip of Charles trying to explain to those cops that showed up at his house, when he said, quote, "We are LDS," and that cop was so rude and condescending to Charles. Absolutely. Yeah. But I wonder, I just thought about this. Thank you. I wonder what it would have been like if a cop would have been LDS. Would we have ever known about any of this? Would it just been handled in-house? That's interesting, right? Somebody in our chat the other day told us that, and I forget who it is, or I'd credit you, that they believe that the Gilbert police are really dirty. And from what I can tell, from the things that were being said to my uncle, from the Gilbert police saying, hey, Charles called while he was in Texas. He called them, and excuse me. And he said, my wife's threatening me. So this is before his plane tickets and all the things. And so they tell him that as soon as he comes in to obtain, there's 3 things he could do. So that's what they told him to do. they advised him on 3 different things he could do. They just didn't tell him at the time, or any of us, down the road, that they were going to help Lori evade being held accountable. What not to do, what to do when we come knocking on your door. Okay, lady. And we're not going to just tell you once. We're going to be really, really, really super obvious with it. And, yeah, it's really disgusting. I hope they're ashamed of themselves, but I have a feeling that they're not going to be until their pockets hurt. And that's so unfortunate, because it seems like integrity and just doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, whether you're religious or not. I don't know. It just made me kind of question what the jurors must have been thinking, when they were asking some random off the wall kind of questions, and we were like, oh my God, did Lori, there was, I forget what it was, about the investigation. It was the cop side of it. And I'm like, oh my God, I wonder how many people in Phoenix and of the jury pool, I wonder how many of the jurors actually have known about some kind of corruption with Phoenix police and or, affiliates. So do they distrust police at all? Is there any of that going on? And so it's really fascinating. And just kind of one of those things that I would like to know. Maybe I probably don't want to know, but anyways, I'm gonna show you all this too. This was something, this is Alex and Adam in 2017.
We're on vacation right now with Al. Al is a gun expert. We're at range 54.
Expert.
Here's Al. There's the target. And look how big this gun is that he's about to shoot. Mm-hmm. What's that bullet? That is a 50 caliber semi-automatic. And it's going into this humongous clip. And he's going to shoot this outlawed gun. It's not outlawed. It's legal. That gun is legal. Yes. It's a 50 caliber semi-automatic. Look how big these bullets are. This is bigger than your finger. That's bigger than Stanfield's PD. This is a standard 45. I'm going to set that down. That's a standard 45. That's a 50 cal.
That's huge. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I had it on tap. I actually just uploaded it. And now I don't know what to do. I'm like a little rat in a cage. I'm like, what do I do? Where do I go? Okay. And then this is like, I'm going to just listen to the beginning of it. Gilbert Report Summary. Investigation. This supplement is intended to be a summary compilation of all Gilbert PD reports as they relate to the murder investigation of Charles Vallow. Number 1, Gilbert PD Report 19-000001804, quote, special incident, unquote, taken on January 30th, 2019 at 16:33 hours. Charles was out of town. Location was 2267 East Tomahawk Drive, Gilbert, Arizona. Shared residence for Lori and Charles. The involved parties were Charles Vallow and Lori Vallow. Synopsis. Telephonic report. So this is a phone report. Charles called GPD to make a report of Lori acting strange and making threats. Some of the strange behavior noted by Charles to GPD was that Lori felt she was living her sixth life. She was previously married to Captain Moroni, an LDS church figure, in a previous life. Lori felt the second coming of Jesus Christ was to be in 2019, and preparations needed to be made. Charles related that Lori felt Charles was now someone else by the name of Ed Schneider. That's in quotes. It was not known to Charles why she believed this. Lori had made statements about murdering Ed Schneider
and how she was going to destroy Charles. Charles further reported Lori felt she was a god. Charles was in Texas when making this report.
In Texas.
He was advised of options that included a psychiatric evaluation, community bridges, and a petition to get a mandatory evaluation for Lori. Charles reported he was returning later that day and would go seek the order when he arrived. Charles did not want GPD to make contact with Lori as he felt it would only aggravate the situation.
Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3. And look, I ended up trying to make these videos, and these were supposed to be done in my mind. They were supposed to be done before the trial even started. And here we are. Tomorrow's maybe the last day. So, I mean, these are important, even though it's not coming out in the trial. I believe what my uncle said. I believe it was proven, and the evidence does show that Lori is a murderous biatch. So that's my thoughts. But anyway, so I've broke them down into smaller videos instead of trying to do a movie. Okay, they were turning into a damn movie. So, anyways, I just thought that was interesting because Gilbert police told them before he even came in. So that's one contact. Then he comes in, okay, and then he makes contact at 0:12 hours here, at 12:12 a.m. So it's like a bunch all in a row. It's just like a cluster of police visits, police reports, purse snatching, like just trying to get her seen mentally, so that he was afraid for his life, his kid's life, and for her. He cared about her. Hey, Dora. Oh, I see ya. You're in Lake Charles? Oh, call me. Yeah, call me. Or, email me or something. Kresha0123@gmail.com. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. And only because I saw this on a receipt, because our mom had said, that Lori didn't get injections and things like that. And then I'm like, oh, we've seen it. We have all witnessed her face falling. Have we not? Tell me. Oh my God. It's like, I'm like, what's her face doing? What is her face doing? Why does she talk like this? Talks out the damn side of her mouth, both sides of her mouth, to be honest. Yeah. But I saw Botox treatments, or it was a salon or whatever that did that they offered those. And I was like, oh, and I looked to see the date and it said Uncle Charles was not in town. So I was like, well, maybe she was getting her eyebrows waxed. I don't know. I doubt it. Yeah, I know. It's it's disturbing on more levels. Anyways, all right. I'm sorry. I took y'all on a whirlwind little tour. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to talk about, this one says Visions of Glory. Gets brought up a lot on my page because those who have been negatively influenced by this book and by the author of these visions, Thomas Harrison, have been in the news lately, like Ruby Franke and Lori Vallow. This is March 14th of this year. So, but what people don't know is that there is an entire movement of members of the church associated with Visions of Glory. So that person that asked me this earlier, yeah, these are the people. These are the ones. There's a whole underbelly of this like mind belief. So maybe not zombies, but dark spirits, evil spirits. Yeah. Okay. So it says, there's an entire movement of members of the church associated with Visions of Glory and the other writings of John Pontius. Oh yeah. Who gather together and believe that they are part of the 144,000 and are being taught by translated beings and or angels. Now, another thing that I thought this might be is I noticed a theme or a trend, a pattern, whatever you want to call it. When some recordings had come out of Janet Russin, Tim Ballard's psychic, aka Intel. And just the way she talked, I was like, this is code. Is what it is. I believe that people like Julie Rowe, we'll talk about her in a minute, like Janet Russin, it's like you have a different groups of this belief system. Okay. This group is in charge of, like, Lori and Chad's group was allegedly in charge of healing and music. Okay. So then you're like, well, there's more things to life than just healing and music. So how many other groups are there? I don't know the answer to that, but oh my God, So it's like, it seemed to me like they're called certain things, like this is the team angels. These are the team ministering angels. This is team home visiting angels or visiting teachers. This is the team translated beings, and they're all different, and it's like it trickles down to the people, Anyways, I don't know how to explain that. It's I still haven't figured it out, or how to explain it. I figured it out. I just have not been able to put it to words. So let me know. Okay. It says these people believe they are a special group of select members who have more knowledge. Greater light knowledge is a key. It's a key phrase I'll never forget. Than the leaders of the church. Many of them even believe they have been ordained by angels to a quote unquote higher priesthood, Melchizedek, right? Or the holy order of priesthood. Than President Nelson. So I don't know if that's just speculation, or if by saying you have the higher priesthood, does that then make you more arrogant? Anyways, all right. So they think they will lead the 144,000. So, I mean, this is alarming. Okay. Because it's not so, oh, Lori's just crazy. Everybody wants to just chalk her off as crazy. And while I don't, I don't deny that. I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for. I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, she's batshit crazy. Okay, straight up, Julie, straight up. But they're not that kind of crazy. They're not. It's just they're talking in that language. They're saying what they've been told. I mean, this doesn't just like, I don't think it just happens one day, and you're just like, well, yeah, I'm gonna just talk like this, Anyways, one of the leading members of this group was on the Stick of Joseph podcast, teaching about how to receive your endowment outside of the temple. So Mormons go to the temple to do their endowments and swear the oaths and all the things, right? Just like when Serena Sharp was on Stan recently, and Lori was like, I believe, from what I've learned, I think Lori was harassing Serena and reminding her of the oath that she took too, to shut her damn mouth, because they're in this together. And so basically it's a secret society. Okay. I know I said it, but it is. I mean, just the temple all of itself is a secret society. I mean, Relief Society. Joseph Smith was a Freemason, and within like a day or two, he got went to the 32nd or 33rd degree Mason. Then all of a sudden, the temple ordinance rituals started to really, really mirror Freemason rituals. So, and then there was a lot of beef between the Freemasons and Joseph Smith because of it. So, yeah. All right. So that's coming into play here. You're not going to get that information. I didn't really start learning about that part of it, about the Freemasonry part about it, till I'd say the last 6 months. So, I mean, I've heard it before. I just didn't know where to put that in my, I had to learn more about Freemasonry. And like Tim Ballard is a Knights Templar. He was knighted when he back in 2015, along with Sean Reyes, who was he was the now he's the former Utah Attorney General. Oh my gosh, I can't remember all these things. Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes. And anyway, and Paul Hutchinson and Eduardo Verrestegui. So yeah, Knights Templar. And I mean, I've read the Jesuit oath, and it's so offensive. And just, it tells you it's their oath. And so you learn how they view you. We're less than insects. I'll just tell you that. Spoiler alert. Anyway, so okay, so the endowment, they're going in there. It's just, you have to have a temple recommend to go in there. Only people from the public can go inside of a temple before it is dedicated. I have a whole issue with that whole thing. I have a theory, and it's not pretty about what Tylee and JJ's lives might have been sacrificed for. But anyway, so not today. But the Stick of Joseph guys were completely unaware of this man's private affiliations with Thomas Harrison, and had they known, I'm sure they would not have invited this man onto their show. Remember, this is LDS perspective. I share this as a warning to be careful who you follow. And so I believe, and it looks like to me, that Mormons always look for somebody to follow because of, being born and raised possibly into the LDS religion. So they follow their living prophet, and there's only one at a time on the earth. And they believe that all the other churches, so anybody who's not Mormon, we are all Gentiles and we are pieces of doo-doo. I mean, we're damned. And so they're the only ones who have the true gospel, and that can save us. So that kind of really plays into what I just saying that and, thinking it out loud reminds me of Lori wanting to save people or fix people or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, I'm reading too much into it, but it kind of makes me wonder why we have these savior complex, Messiah complex, God complex, hero complex. It's like, anyways. So I share this as a warning to be careful who you follow. In order to avoid being deceived in the last days, we have to stay close to the church and those God has called to lead the church. Anyways, so I'm going to continue going down there. Here, this is a Julie Rowe. This is March 12th this year. Wasatch Wake Up, Earthquake Prophecy, a declaration from Julie K. Barnett. It used to be Julie Rowe. This is Julie K. Barnett declaring there will be the Wasatch Wake Up earthquake on Thursday morning. See, before we get all into this and get all perturbed by it, I really think Julie is telling her people, the secret people, where to be, where to go. It's like the invitation. It's the call out. Okay, in my opinion, I declare that I've seen this. Oh, I'm sorry. It says the Wasatch Wake Up earthquake that she's been touting for a decade or more. Earthquake on Thursday morning. These are very specific times at 4:14 a.m., 4:26 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and 4:36 a.m. I declare I've seen this in vision for thousands of years. I have seen this in vision right now. The time is now to prepare, sending a warning out to all those within the sound of my voice, NLP, okay? To those who hear. Lori was asking, did you hear with your ears? Did you see with your eyes? I'm telling you, I was like, is she secretly are they like talking with each other, her and Adam? But I don't really think so. But I mean, it's really weird. She's been doing some really questionable things, There was one day I thought she had a glitch or something. I'm like, mind control? Holy cow. It's like her demon is whatever. Anyways, I have so many questions. So it says the time is now to prepare. Oh, I'm sorry. I declare I've seen this in vision for thousands of years. I have seen this in vision right now. The time is now to prepare, sending a warning out to all those within the sound of my voice, to those who hear. Get a pair of tennis shoes and flashlight ready, especially if you live along the I-15 corridor in the Salt Lake Valley. I don't know how to say that. Cache Valley or Cache Valley or Utah County. Copy. Broadcast. Yeah, she's code talking right now. Straight up. Transmit. Send this message out on all my social media immediately. Why don't you do it? Anyways, today is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025 at 12:42 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Beep, beep, beep. Utah, United States of America, planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy. Copy, transmit, and send to the Galactic Federation, all hands on deck. Thank you for your work. Let's get it ready to rumble with urgency, with truth, with love. Julie K. Barnett. I don't think this is her talking about a damn earthquake, period. And it didn't happen. First off, she's not a prophetess. Second off, she wouldn't be, right? Because this is just to get the attention, get it where it needs to go. I mean, this is how they communicate. So whatever all these things mean, like copy transmits into the galactic people who talk like this, who communicate this way, who were raised like this and or inducted into this system, I believe they know exactly what the hell they're saying, what she's saying. And it's interesting. It's really fascinating, y'all. It really is. So there's that one. Then here's a text from Julie Rowe Barnett. Remember, time is man-made. Remember, there is no such thing as the highest timeline. Remember, the Lord loves his children. Remember, it is okay to be wrong. Remember, we don't have to be perfect. This lady right here says she sounds like a lunatic, and we agree. I do believe. And this person says, oh my gosh, this is horrible. My niece, who is out at BYU, Idaho, which is Rexburg, okay, said that her friend's family was involved with Julie Rowe closely and that he's worried about them because Julie was saying that if the earthquake didn't happen, the inner circle people need to kill themselves. Yeah. Now they've taken their website down today. If you know anyone in the inner circle, check on them. Hopefully they don't follow through. I didn't read that earlier, but oh my God, I wish it's a hell of a thing. Belief. How do I get out of here? Okay. Y'all, that's nuts. I gotta go touch down with y'all real quick. Lori's secret item is in her enchilada recipe is her can opener. She can't even have one now. I still can't believe she actually asked your mom if she knew the events that morning, 7-Eleven. She is so lucky I was not there. Y'all, you know how you picture things, and I could picture myself so many times just hurdling that damn gate or whatever and just going and, just flying in, landing on her. I don't care. I'll get zapped too. I don't give a shit. I was just ready. And I'm like, that shouldn't be going through my mind. Why is it? She's just really been pissing me off with her representing herself has been really triggering. It was definitely a message to the group, perhaps warning the heat is on or where to meet. I'm telling you, there's, that's what I was going to do. Let me look that up real quick. If I have it. Voicemail. That's wicked. Yeah, I do. Okay. Hold on, weirdo. Julie Rowe. Ready? We have no captions for this. All right. But it says it on there anyways.
Hey, Alex, really just getting back to you about your ramp situation. You can contact Wayne to come let you know. Registry is on task, secure. We are on lockdown, and it's just a matter of time before we're going to be in the presence of Pathway to Heaven, Pathway to Zion, and Independence Day. So freedom in the forefront. The grass is green, nails are painted, toes are pedicured, manicure is on the rise. Answers in heaven are soon to come, and our language is effective. Think quick, think fast, get the ball, you're up, and matter does. Here's the deal. Creatively thinking, creatively writing, creatively caring. Time to call out. You're on the call list. We're going up. Step it up, my friend. It's a matter of time. Talk to Hector. He'll keep going. Hurry in. And let you know where we are and things. Let him know it's the same because I haven't wrapped the loop yet, and he doesn't need to go check. The call is coming, the grass is green, and the horizon. Today is Wednesday the 23rd, the 22nd. Gonna fly outside on the 23rd, go take the touchdown to the home run, and clear the base was on Friday.
Yeah. Not a code. Not a code.
I was surprised to see Chandler PD come and testify. What were your thoughts on that and bringing up, Charles Vallow?
It wasn't playing over to the next one before. Okay, let me fix this. Where am I? Oh, okay, right there. All right. So, Now I forgot what I was doing. I was going back over here. Let me fix my screen again. Now I'm smoking, so that's why I'm hiding behind the little icon. I'm trying to. Where do you search? I don't really do Facebook very often, but it seems like they'd give you a search. But I want to search within the group, but I guess that's not really going to happen, huh? Oh, search. Hello. Yeah. Daybell. Oh, how cool. Okay, so here we are. And this is how Preparing a People conference. This is January 28th, 2019. So this is like a month after the world learns about Tylee and JJ being missing, How Preparing a People conference, Chad Daybell and LDS Avow are teaching a false Christ as prophesied by the Lord Jesus Christ to his disciples and by every prophet since the restoration. 24, for there shall rise a false Christ and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. I'd say they might even just be the very elect, if you know what I'm saying. We know that many of these false prophets or teachers will rise in the church. They don't always come from outside. A disturbing trend that we have noticed among among the LDS energy healing crowd is, quote, last day prophecy teachers, unquote, who preach a timeline of events, even giving dates. Some are even claiming to have visions of the last days events and believe they know what even the, I don't talk like this. They know they even know what the prophet does not know. All of these people have one thing in common. They're involved in spiritualism. Spiritualism is a practice of communication with spirits of the deceased through a medium or not. Okay, Chad Daybell is now acting as a psychic medium who believes with, quote, spirits on the other side of the veil, unquote, and he is now revealing the future. I'd say he's also astral projecting, allegedly. Chad Daybell sent out an email to subscribers on Avow, another voice of warning, announcing he now had an official timeline of last day events. So this is my theory. You can take it or believe it. You can chew on it. You can throw it in trash. You can whatever. You can agree. But what's going on here is this is what it appears to be. So don't come at me because I'm just trying to explain their craziness, okay? I don't believe this. I'm just what it appears to be to me. My opinion, that there is this text that helped me to kind of get here. And it's right here. This is from Visions of a Glorious Thread. It's a Reddit. I'll share the links after I end this live. So it's this right here. Liberty 89 and Elder Ballard. Okay. I feel like I need to give some kind of pretext though. Visions of a Glorious Thread, the Krogh, Meldrum, Harrison, Hildebrandt, Daybell, Rowe, Russin, Ballard connection, not to mention their sister organizations, OUR, Eternal Core, Liberty 89, Visions of Glory, Avow, Preparing a People, Firm Foundation, Firm Expo, and CNF, which is Children Need Families. I would say, did they say the Nazarene Fund? Did they say Preparing a People / Latter-day Media? All the things. Legacy Tours. These people, this enterprise. I mean, we have Gathering Humanity even. That's from Nicole Earle, one of the 7 gatherers, and another one of the 7 gatherers. Her name is Christina Atwood. She was another woman that testified on the stand. Nicole Earle was friends with Lori and Charles for 10 years. So, I mean, I'm just like, what? Okay. On 9/29/2023, Tim Ballard shared a short clip on Twitter from a Ward Radio live stream. This is an LDS, based podcast or channel. Cardin Ellis has taken significant time hunting down statements from those around Tim to address the current scandal. Cardin in the live stream shared a statement made to him by Ken Krogh in defense of Tim Ballard. Ken Krogh is this guy right here. Right here. Ken is the current president CMO of the Spear Fund and has a long and fascinating history of business ventures. He is probably
most well known as the founder of InsideSales.com and his consulting entrepreneurship. He is a member in good standing and has consulted for the church in a number of capacities. Ken was also the head of OUR social media back in 2016. He's also there for Spear Fund. Anyways, he suffered a significant head injury in a car accident in 2015. This moment seemed to be a significant turning point in his life. As recently as 2019, his calling in the church was to manage social media for 30 Utah YSA stakes. I say that loud and, exaggerated because Jason Mal allegedly goes and speaks at these YSA events. Lori was writing alibis for Chad Daybell to go and speak at some kid, some youth speaking engagements. This also happened between her and Jason Mal. Okay, so this is just me and my little theories, okay? They're none but theories. But, Jason Mal, the flyer, usually they're flyers, like the Preparing a People flyers are really elaborate. They're real gaudy, There's so much information on there, you miss it because it's just too much. But it just seems to be what you kind of look for, whenever there's an event, you're like, okay, well, where's all the bells and whistles, like this is one from Chad, Hector Sosa. This is kind of looks like Serena in the background here, but this is Mike James, back at the ranch, right? I even have a fireside meeting with all these people in 2017. Well, not Chad, but this is what I would say the Jameses, Mike and Nancy James, they're probably sitting on this. There's like 10 episodes that they got scrubbed. And I say scrubbed, they just most likely got privated and shared with only like-minded people right whenever the news hit the airwaves. And so messages from prominent people on the other side. So Chad was this is what he did. He was talking to George Washington. I forgot his name. Marilyn Monroe, Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Abe, okay. John Lennon, I think that's what was his name. I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. I might not be. I don't know. All right. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what, that's just one of their flyers, and that one's really not even that busy at all, so it's not even really helping me out. But let's see. Okay. So, well, okay. I know what I was telling you. All right. So Jason Mal, the same weekend that JJ was murdered, Jason Mal had an alibi. He said he was in Billings, Montana, speaking at a youth, whatever. And one of the, no, actually, I'm sorry. It was a singles ward. Okay. So it was like for Mormons who are single. Okay. And the flyer was just so basic. And like even the itinerary was very basic. I mean, it was just like, check in 9 a.m., mingle, and then brunch, and then lunch, and then snack. And it was really weird, And I'm like, it just always has kind of hung out in the back of my mind. And I'm like, I wonder if, because it really just seems interesting that, I mean, even Jason Mal had his mouth buccal swabbed. And they were questioning him around the time of Tammy's murder, which I was like, well, that's not who I suspect it would be about. I'm thinking more of the kids, Tylee and JJ's. And anyway, but there was also a firm event that happened the same weekend that JJ was murdered. And we know that because that was Melanie Gibb and David Warwick's, that was their reason for going up to Rexburg. Okay. And staying at none other than Lori Daybell's apartment. The same day that JJ, they decided to do away with JJ. But I want you to consider that Operation Underground Railroad is, a nonprofit organization, and it was sponsored on September 7th, a Friday, 2019, by Chad Daybell and Tammy Daybell's Spring Creek Book Publishing Company.
And I didn't learn that until Chad's trial, and it was Emma Daybell and Joseph Murray that testified to that. Chad's daughter, Chad's son-in-law. And all these years, we were under the assumption that Tammy had been preparing for a 5K race. You know, she had to have been in great shape, right? Oh my God, yeah. You know, if you're going to run in a race, I mean, I'd die straight up. So, but come to find out on the stand, I mean, it was interesting, and also it blew my hair back. It still does, because here we have this OUR event that's happening and is sponsored by Cheap Chad. Oh, cheapskate Chad. Couldn't buy his own damn plane ticket, was calling, making arrangements for my uncle's remains. His hand is in every one of my family members' deaths, okay, and burials, to do with their remains, okay? So I don't know if it's a little game these people play. And so it makes you sit back and kind of think like, huh, I wonder if they hold these Operation Underground Railroad events, these Preparing a People events in certain cities at certain times. And then you have people like Julie Rowe who are communicating under the radar for the most part. You have people who are orchestrating these gatherings, is what they call them, these gatherings. And so let's say they all get the message that we don't see because we're not attuned to it. We're not accustomed to it. And so they meet, and yeah, they do put on the conferences. They do have the speakers. They all are into Doomsday books and making money and profit off of fear mongering, off of scaring the shit out of people, and just somehow having solutions for everybody. You know, they're like, okay, buy this $10,000 worth of food here, and you know, and you're in. So, or these tents, you know, I mean, this really has happened. This really has happened. You know, people have lost their retirements, they've lost their homes, college funds, they've gone bankrupt, they've divorced over this crap. And do you think any of these grifters care? They don't, okay? Because they're laughing all the way to the bank. Then they pay 10% to their church, by the way. So I wondered if it's possible that these events are being held for sure. I'm just going to focus on Tylee and JJ for sure. But Tylee was murdered the weekend of September 7th through the 9th. She was, you know, buried, dismembered, buried, all the things, okay? Chad Daybell's property. But not even her whole body's not together, you know. I mean, they only found certain portions of it. A lot of her is missing. Where's the rest of her? And am I supposed to believe that just Chad and Lori and Alex just decided one day they're going to just nut up on everybody? Or was this a planned sacrifice? Tylee was a planned sacrifice, in my opinion. And I'm going to pull it up real quick. If you just give me a second, I'm going to let you guys check out this video that I dug up from this while I go and get what I need to get. This is why the emotion code and body code, which is the same course that Dilemma took, that Dilemma, Julie, Tammy, and Chad. Julie, did I say Julie? Yeah, they all took this emotion code. And so she says, just because someone says they're from the church doesn't mean you should listen to everything they say. Energy medicine works so that you won't turn to Christ as the master healer, the one who can show you your true hurt and consequently the true path to healing for you. Turn to Christ and exercise faith and focus your intention on him and watch the true healing flow into you. Also, I have no idea what that was on my chin. It's right there. That's what I get for looking into the lens and not the screen. I get you, girl. I get you. So she talks really low. So just it'll just be a little bit.
I'm
gonna speed it up.
I want to detail my experience with learning the truth about emotion code, body code, and all types of energy medicines. So I first off want to, this may be the only thing I need to really say about this, but one truth when coming to understand if body code is of God and emotion code is of God and any other type of alternative medicine is of God is asked by what power does it work? We know that there are only two powers that can supernaturally change our physical realities. And that is the power of God and power of Satan, because he is the God of this world.
I found it. I found it. So I'm going to pause that for a second because I want to show you this. Okay, so this is in the FOIA docs. Okay, this is page number 321 of 1108. So this is Lelanie Lee, which is Melanie Boudreaux. Okay, that's Lori's niece, Melanie's. And it says Miriam, redacted. This number only appears as a contact in the redacted account. In the redacted account, there's a message from this number to Lori and the redacted number linked to Alex Cox. The message read, "It's Lelanie Lee. Save my number for you guys only." With a smiley face. Further, content linked this number to Melanie Boudreaux. Based on the content of the messages, Melanie was very close to Lori. Lori even sent Melanie photographs of malachite wedding rings on 8/14/2019. Did y'all notice how they did not come up in the case? Which is interesting, right? Trina K is like, all right, hooker, we're just not even going to, you talking about malachite rings saying there was a limit Alex's? We're just not even going to bring them up. I'm noticing things that they haven't shown, but anyways. So it says, in looking at Lori Vallow's movement after the murder of Charles Vallow, she made what seemed to be an impromptu trip to Missouri and more specifically the LDS historical site of Adam Ondi Amen. Adam Ondi Amen. I tried saying it slow and I messed up. It was unsure why this trip was taken. In reviewing her iCloud records, I discovered a deleted incoming message from an unknown person. The date associated with the message was October 4th, 2019, 2 days after Brandon Boudreaux was shot at, and this is 5 days before Tammy was shot at. So the message reads as follows. So here we go. I said it wrong. The LDS woman who is an expert in all the feast days of the Hebrews that the Lord sent me to find through a dream, okay, didn't tell me the bride had to be the first to be symbolically translated before the 144,000. She said that the marriage feast always represented to the Hebrews the first resurrection. So that's what it represents to the Hebrews. Anyways, and the Lord had told her by the Spirit it would be at Adam Ondi Amen, the place where it all began. The bride had to be the first one resurrected in the first resurrection. Before the rest of her people, the 144,000 could. That doesn't make sense. So I guess okay, I get it. So the bride had to be the first. I mean, it doesn't make sense what they're saying, but I was just trying to break it up with grammatical, The bride had to be the first one resurrected in the first resurrection before the rest of her people, which are the 144,000, could be, basically. Because she had to atone and cleanse for her ancestors' sins. This is what, and their ancestors' sins as feminine sacrifice in order for the Church of the Firstborn to be born. You know what? Now that I'm reading it, I don't really take it as actually sacrificing a female. So, sometimes it's okay to read these things. So that could not mean that. But I mean, still, that's so interesting. And so it says, an interpretation of this message would suggest that this is where Lori had to go to become translated and fulfill the beliefs of the Church of the Firstborn. Lori would travel to Adam Ondi Amen on 10/11/2019. Jason even mentioned to me one time, he was like, what if she had to bring the rest of Tylee there? And I was like, oh my God. Anyways, I don't put anything past them. I really don't. I don't put anything past them. Everything's on the table here where I search. Everything's on the table. Nothing is conspiracy. Nothing is off the table. I think it's better that way. But anyway, so, all right, let me get back to this. So I can tell you what I think the intel is. So, all right. So the YSA stakes, again, could these conferences be a front for something far more dark and far more sinister going on, such as, murdering, torturing kids? That's my question. So Ken is on the board of Liberty 89, which with Brad Brower, this guy right here, son-in-law of Elder Ballard, the Mormon apostle, which is his daughter right here, a media company founded by Tim Ballard. So it says Liberty 89 was registered in August of 2000. I want to say that actually Tom Harrison is part of Liberty 89 as well, if I'm recalling correctly. Liberty 89 was registered in August of 2016. From the recent publishing of the 75 pages of investigative documents on OUR, we learned of a meeting held at Thanksgiving Point between Sheriston Stockwell, who's with OUR, Tim Ballard, who's the founder of OUR, Ken Krogh, this guy right here, Tom Harrison, that's the Vision of Glory guy, and Hugh Vell, another dude that's backstroked his way out of this, as described by Sheriston. So it's a little difficult to read the notes that the FBI agent took of Sheriston, his conversation with Sheriston, but Sheriston worked for Operation Underground Railroad. So let's just take it as it is. Liberty 89, Elder Ballard. Sheriston said Tim took her to a meeting in her official OUR work capacity. So it wasn't just hanging out after work, okay? To meet with people at Thanksgiving Point. That's in Utah. The people at the meeting included Tom Harrison, Ken Krogh, Hugh Vell, Tim Ballard. Sheriston said they claimed to have visions and special intelligence, that's an interesting word, of the second coming. Sheriston said that because she had shared some spiritual things and Tim found out about it, that Tim could share with her the more quote unquote secret things that I'm involved in as Tim, like secret things that Tim's involved in, unquote. Sheriston said during this meeting, they spoke about Liberty 89, America being a fallen nation, and how it was Tim's quote calling to do these things with OUR and restoring America. So it involves every one of us to the covenant. Sheriston said restoring America to the covenant was, quote, a big mission of his, unquote, of Tim's. And he was, quote unquote, called of God to do this. Sheriston said Tim was very verbal about Elder Russell Ballard's involvement and basically saying he's behind it. But Sheriston said she didn't know if she believed that. There's so many witnesses saying these kinds of things about Elder Ballard, and I believe them. I do. Tim would say that M. Russell Ballard is as a part of Liberty 89. Tim would tell us that, but Hugh was there, and Hugh was an employee, so it would be more employees than just me. So apparently Elder Ballard was well aware of Liberty 89 and its mission to publish what appears to be American-centric, nationalistic propaganda infused with Christianity. This was all, and I say this is all to fulfill the American covenant, okay? This is, I believe, why we no longer see Moroni's on the temple, on the map, on Google Maps anymore. We see crosses. Remember when Lori texted, I forget who, Chad maybe? And she was talking about I want to say it was Melanie Boudreaux's little kid. And she was saying that they just got finished cleaning up and painting over the crosses on the wall that the little kid drew. And that how that was marking the location for the dark ones to find them. I'm like, oh, you got to think inverted. And it's really weird. And I understand. It's so bizarre. It is very important to note that Sheriston said the participants, quote, claim to have visions and special intelligence of the second coming. So then it got me to start thinking about what is going on here. Why are they talking like this? And what's the second coming? And then all of a sudden, y'all, one day I was like, holy shit. They are talking about, I'm going to sound crazy for saying it. So don't hold it against me. It appears to me to be the new world order. is what they call the second coming. So Lori would have told my uncle that she's the part of the 144,000, meaning that she had to sacrifice to get into this club. It's kind of like Diddy with hip hop, except this is Lori with Mormon. Okay. There is a Mormon pillar of the 5 pillars I've learned. And there was a Mormon mafia. There was all kinds of shit. Do y'all ever notice where the mafia has gone? Besides the Cox family and underground, so to speak. And so now they're enterprises. They are nonprofit organizations. They are big business, big corp, allegedly. Oh my God. Yeah, Robinette says here, let me blow your mind. I keep saying Lori is Lilith. Who is Lilith? Adam's first wife. Oh my God. It does. I mean, and it's because I'm like, why are they're accelerationalists? I was learning all about that. Like, why do they want to speed up? They're so excited, psycho excited about the end of the world, basically. And they all intend on surviving. That's the key here. Every prepper, they are not going down. Okay. They are going to be prepared, and, hopefully they'll share with you because they've been preparing for you too. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. So I just happened to kind of like go, oh my God, wow. I wasn't looking for it. It just was like, this makes sense. Not actual Jesus coming. Okay. Because they definitely don't act like Jesus is about to be here, but it sure does track with other things. It's made me have to look up everything. I've had this. I research everything, and I mean, just to get a tidbit of some kind of whatever, so I can kind of tie it in if I need to, or share it logically and effectively, which I suck at, but it's a lot. This ends up being, oh, this isn't just Chad and Lori. This is like people who have made it and are a part of the 144,000. I don't know what it is for other people's clubs. Maybe for Diddy's club, maybe it was about becoming a star. And, I mean, even the 32nd, 33rd degree Mason, I don't really know for sure. So correct me. I'm open for that. I don't know everything. But I mean, at some point they are told that they do worship the Dark Lord and not so much just, oh, we don't have religion here. You can have it all. And then, once you get high enough into that ranking system, then you have to make a choice. And sometimes people will like do blackmail, and force a person into silence. That's what this is. It's that secret society. The one that belongs to Carlos Slim and friends. And I was like, oh shit, this makes sense. I mean, seeing Jesus in the temple, no. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. No, it does not make sense. So once I realized that, I was like, okay, I can relax. I know what it is. I know what this is now. So now I can start working my way backwards. And, because I hit the ceiling there. And so then I started working my way backwards, and I was like, just confirming things or, ruling things out. Is this that? And I mean, I still go back and forth with it because a lot of people will think that this is and it is. It's just not my conspiracy theory. It's someone else's. Okay. But I mean, I'm just like, I notice things. And so not right away, but usually late. But this is the whole thing. They have special intelligence, right? Maybe because, oh, let me go grab it. Yeah, this is where this fits in. Totally. And so let me get back to my channel somewhere. Okay, here. Alrighty, let's see. There it is. I showed this the other day during, but we were trial watching in between. So this is Ken Krogh. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen. This is Ken Krogh right here. This is one of the whiteboard meetings. There's a 2019 infamous whiteboard meeting that allegedly took place. I mean, we have names on here: Clinton Foundation, talk shows, Anderson Cooper, Ellen, Oprah, O'Reilly, Elizabeth Smart, Brooke White. Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
You're
okay.
not showing your
I'm not?
screens. It looks like it should be.
Aspect. Okay, thank you. We have Porn Kills Love, which is this other guy. I just forgot his name all of a sudden. The Blaze, Tony Robbins. Okay, he forwarded the book for the body code, emotion code. That would be Dr. Bradley Nelson. And so these are his for sure's. Okay, we have Elder Ballard. We have Luke Bryant, Adam LaRoche, Alex Boyer, Montel Williams. These are for sure. Cascade, Jenna Elfman, Scientology. Then you got to think about Marisol Nichols too. And then Jonathan, they put Jonathan Travolta is John Travolta, Kelly Preston, Terry Crews, Elizabeth Smart, Brooke White, Lexi Walker, Lindsay Sterling, Glenn Beck. Then down here under Elder Ballard, we have the Slim family, which is Carlos Slim. He was the richest man in the world, not America, not a country, the world, until Elon Musk just passed him up this year. And so that's who funded the Sound of Freedom movie, if you want to know. Him, Mel Gibson, the guy who owns Paul Mitchell Salon, right? Oh my gosh. I followed the money is what I did. I did what everybody kept saying. Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. And so here it is. And so I reached the ceiling on that too. I'm like Lil Wayne, no ceilings, mother. Anyways, if you know, you know. So I reached the ceiling and I've just been like working my way backwards again. And I'm just trying to fill in some context because I'm doing something with all these things and they're gonna make everybody's hair blow back and expose and do what exactly I set out to do, and that's expose. I don't give a shit about these people. I don't want their damn blood money, but you know, it's the only thing that catches people's attention, catches their attention for sure. So anyways, so this is We'll All Be Slaves in 10 Years. Ken Krogh and Tim Ballard tell operator, Tim Ballard's former or his ex executive assistant Celeste Boris that, well, let me play it. I think I have words on it already.
So Ken's background is he built a multi-billion-dollar company
on this stuff,
inside sales, concept. Like huge office, you know, and so that's why. And I met him through Elder Ballard because Elder Ballard and the churches used him to use the same kind of tools and technologies for the missionary program and everything like that. And Elder Ballard actually looked him in the eye, and poor Elder Ballard can't even affirm this right now. But he said Tim will be 10 years ago. He said Tim will be a household name. Yes. And I was just like, what are you saying? Like no one knew who I was at the time.
And he said, if we don't do it in 10 years, we'll all be slaves.
That's right.
Yeah.
He took to Ken and he said, Ken, you need to guide that process. When it happens.
You know what happened the next 2 nights? I had dreams all night long about what to do. And I even saw Tony Robbins.
You might
and
be.
We went up there to that whiteboard. Crazy. And we made a 2-story high whiteboard and we circled all the best places. And we circled the biggest name of all would be Tony Robbins.
This is before we knew him or he knew us.
We didn't even know. And the Lord had our back. And I didn't do anything about that other than highlight what he showed.
Well, I remember Elder Ballard, he said, okay, well, Tony it is.
Yes.
Okay, well, how do we get to him?
Yes.
And Elder Ballard said, don't let the Lord take care of that.
And he did.
Within 6 months, Tony Robbins calls me. Bizarre.
And already firmly committed, and that's where we're going, you guys. So.
And already firmly committed, and that's where we're going, you guys. So I just think it's interesting because, in my opinion, what this looks like to me is this part where it says, you know, will be a household name. No one knew who I was at the time. And he said, if we don't, Elder Ballard said, if we don't do it, meaning Operation Underground Railroad, if we don't network, if we don't get into this seen, I guess you could say, allegedly, that I mean, if you aren't part of their order, then I would say that we would be against their order and we would probably be the slaves, if you know what I'm saying. If you don't get in, this is how I take it. If you don't buy in right now, if you don't get in right now, Tim and friends, in 10 years you'll be slaves. And so he went into Operation Underground Railroad on November 13th, 2013. I don't know why I remember that. It's just kind of one of them weird dates, right? And Elder Ballard is alleged, and some other general authorities have also been alleged to have financially backed Operation Underground Railroad and others things. I mean, I've heard that, and so this is rumor. I cannot corroborate it. There are people who have been to these meetings. The one that I was showing just now, that one's from a 2016, September 4th or 5th of 2016, and yeah, I took everything that Tim said later on. This came out. We already had this whiteboard meeting from 2016. So when he said this exact thing and how Ken Krogh said it was a 2-story whiteboard, I showed that. I showed him writing Tony Robbins' name. Okay. I was able to corroborate all those things and put the video that people don't really know about to what was being said to Celeste Borges. I hope she is able to use it, and I hope that it gives her more proof. But if we don't do it in 10 years, if we don't create Operation Underground Railroad and sister organizations of the like, in my opinion, if you don't get in this club, you're going to be a slave, dude. Special intel. So it's your higher ups, in my opinion. It's your Elder Ballard. It's your all your people in these elite circles. Whether or not you think Chad and Lori fit in there, maybe not, but they still use people. All these people use other people, okay? And they dupe everybody. They dupe themselves, so they don't even know what the hell they're doing. I mean, it's not a far-fetched, and I mean, whatever. I'm just saying it goes in the whole NWO mind frame, if you think. Oh.
And he said, if we don't do it in 10 years, we'll all be slaves.
That's right.
Yeah.
He said he took to Ken and he said, Ken, you need to guide that process to when it happens.
You know what happened the next 2 nights? I had dreams all night long about what to do. And I even saw Tony Robbins. And we went up there to that whiteboard, and we made a 2-story high whiteboard, and we circled all the best places, and we circled the biggest name of all would be Tony Robbins.
This is before we knew him or he knew us.
We didn't even know. And the Lord had our back. I didn't do anything about that other than highlight what he showed.
Well, I remember Elder Ballard, he said, okay, well, Tony, it is.
Yes.
Okay, well, how do we get to him?
Yes.
And Elder Ballard said, don't let the Lord take care of that.
And he did.
Within 6 months, Tony Robbins calls me. Bizarre.
And already firmly committed, and that's where we're going, you guys. So, Young Single Adult Project.
So that I just added on that video, let it play because that's the original sound of him actually at the whiteboard. And so, I mean, what do you think? I mean, is it a far stretch? Am I stretching here? I mean, don't get me wrong. But really, I have to do more mental gymnastics to come to the conclusions of everybody else, mainstream. And again, I'm looking at everything. I'm wanting to know why my aunt said what she did. I'm wanting to know why my aunt did what she did. Oh my God, that's been the biggest quest, the biggest. Okay. I just want to know why. My mom was on the hit list. Still is. I need Lori to scratch it out. Okay. Because Urval LeBaron, same thing. This has been going on for a really long time. Really long time. And I mean, in that Jesuit oath that I read, that I need to upload, because it's alarming and people need to know about it, but it said that we will, hold on. I have it right here. It's just going to be through my phone though. Here it is. If you don't mind. Okay. So it's just going to be coming through my phone. If anybody asks what it is in chat, just say it's the Jesuit oath. I can't put it down. Or yeah, I can. Hold on. I forgot. Y'all, I'm sorry. Y'all know I just kind of wing everything. So this is welcome to my channel where we wing everything. Because it's a lot of madness, okay? It's a lot to try to make sense out of. So this is the Jesuit Extreme Oath of Induction, the Secret Covenant. Let me turn that music down right there. Okay. Luciferian Blood Oath Pact. The following, it's a video, was provided by Dana H. back on October 9th, 2009, and presents the Secret Covenant, which is a Luciferian Blood Oath Pact made by High Freemasons, Jesuits, High Knights of Columbus, or any other secret society that has pledged allegiance to Lucifer and the Vatican. This oath puts their allegiance to their Luciferian secret society above all else while committing to their plan for worldwide control, deception, division, enslavement, fear-mongering, depopulation, and poisoning of the masses. Following the video is the full transcript of the Luciferian Secret Covenant, which I'm reading right now. An illusion it will be, so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We will create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we were not connected, just to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be to accomplish one drop at a time so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always and will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. And then we will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from many of our fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths, and it will destroy their minds and reproductive systems. From all of this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them and in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. We will teach them that the poisons are good with fun images and musical tones. Those they look up to will help. They will see our products being used in films and will grow accustomed to them and will never know their true effect. When they give birth, we will inject the poisons into the blood of their children and convince them it's for their health. We will start early on when their minds are young, and we will target the children and what the children love most. Sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals, and that will kill their mind and steal their future. When their ability to learn has been affected, we will create medicine which will make them even sicker and cause other diseases, for which we will create even yet more medicine. We will render them docile and weak before us by our power. They will grow depressed, slow, and obese, and when they come to us for help, we will give them more poison. We will focus their attention towards money and material goods so that they may never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication, external pleasures, and games so that they may never be one with the oneness of it all. Their minds will belong to us, and they will do as they say. I guess it should say as we say. If they refuse, we shall find ways to implement mind-altering technology into their lives. We'll use fear as our weapon. We will establish governments and establish opposites within. We will own both sides. We'll always hide our objective, but carry out our plan. They will perform the labor for us, and we shall prosper from their toil. Our families will never mix with theirs. Our blood must be pure always, for it is the way. We will make them kill each other when it suits us. We will keep them separated from the oneness by dogma and religion.
We will control all aspects of their lives and then tell them what to think and how. We will guide them kindly and gently, letting them think that they are guiding themselves. We will foment anonymously between them through our factions. When a light shall shine among them, we shall extinguish it by ridicule or death, whatever suits us best. We will make them rip each other's hearts apart and kill their own children. We will accomplish this by using hate as our ally and anger as our friend. The hate will bind them totally, and never shall they see that from their conflicts we will emerge as the rulers. They will be busy killing each other. They will bathe in their own blood and kill their neighbors for as long as we see fit. We will benefit greatly from this, for they will not see us, for they cannot see us. We will continue to prosper from their wars and from their deaths. We shall repeat it over and over and over until our ultimate goal is accomplished. We will continue to make them live in fear and anger through images and sound. We'll use all of the tools we have to accomplish this. The tools will be provided by their labor. We will make them hate themselves and their neighbors. We will always hide the divine truth from them, that we are all one. This they must never know. They must never know that the color is an illusion. They must always think that they are not equal. Drop by drop, drop by drop, we will advance in our goal. We will take over their land, resources, and their wealth to exercise total control over them. We will deceive them into accepting laws that will steal the little freedom that they will have. We will establish a money system that will imprison them forever, keeping them and their children in debt. When they shall band them together, we shall accuse them of crimes and present a different story to the world, for we shall own all of the media.
You heard that? You heard that part? That's the part. I mean, of all the other parts, but
we will establish a money system that will imprison them forever, keeping them and their children in debt. When they shall band them together, we shall accuse them of crimes and present a different story to the world, for we shall own all of the media. For we will use our media to control the flow of information and then...
Who owns these Idaho News?
For we will use our media to control the flow of information and then slant it in our favor. When they rise up against us, we will crush them like insects, for they are less than that. They will be helpless to do anything as they will have no weapons. We will recruit some of their own to carry out our plans, and we will promise them eternal life, but eternal life they will never have, for they are not one of us. The recruits will be called initiates and will be indoctrinated to believe false rites of passage to higher realms. The members of these groups will think that they are one of us. They must never learn the truth, for they will turn against us. For their work, they will never be rewarded with earthly things and great titles, but never will they become immortal and join us. Never will they receive the light and travel the stars. They will never reach the higher realms, for the killing of their own kind will prevent the passage to the realm of enlightenment. The truth will be hidden in their face so close that they will not be able to focus on it until it's too late. Oh yes, oh grand illusion of freedom will be that they will never know how they are slaves.
Oh, okay, right. Drop the mic. Anyways.
So Ken's background is
crap.
he built a multi-billion-dollar.
Oh, I'm like, where's that playing from? Okay, it came from my phone. All right. Anyways, I'm sorry about that, and it's not to scare anybody. And I have to say that I like before realizing that, oh my God, this is what they're into. Like, this is so huge, you know. Once I knew what it was, you know, it totally empowered me. And I mean, imagine if a lot of us knew what it was and woke up to it happening. And if you can see it, if I can see it in a today case, you know, that's playing out today, then I mean, anyways, it's just like, whoa, this is why they all peddled the end times. This is that whole prepper thing. This is because they have special intel to certain levels, you know, it's all levels. So that's my opinion. But anyways, I'm glad to see you guys here. And so again, if you are scared, it's not for that. Don't let them scare you. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. if anything, just to, think about it and just be aware of it. It's not to take action. It's not to, make you go and buy all kinds of prepping gear. It's just to be aware of the possibility that this could be what's going on. Whether it is or not, I don't know. I don't, there's nobody that's just going to be like, yep, that's what it is. And if so, they're labeled as conspiracy theorists. And yeah, so I've had a lot of shit on my mind for 6 years. Well, not that many years. I realized it probably about when I was real researching into Tim Ballard, Glenn Beck. I mean, I was really sizing them up, like just studying all the things. And I study them, their mannerisms, their behaviors, the things that they say, the keywords, the code words, the dog whistles, basically. And they all say the same thing. They do. And they borrow from one another because they think it's funny and cool. And it's not. It's disgusting and disturbing. And so I wonder how many people have died for this cause. How many people have been sacrificed for this cause? Tylee and JJ, Charles, Tammy, I believe that they were sacrificed for this cause. And they're just a drop in the bucket to all of them. So anyways, let me get back over here and let me do this. So, because I don't want to hit 3 hours at all. I'm trying not to. Okay, so this is a LDS Energy Healing Emotion Code Exposed. This one was a big eye opener for me. January 21st, 2020. So this is about a month. This is right around the time Lori is getting served by Kauai Police Department. And she's hanging out by the pool with her boy toy, Chadwick. And yeah, I saw that there was a fundamentalist Mormon in here, and hit me up, if you will. Oddfellow. I saw that, but I didn't want to disrupt the stream. But this is my email. Very Kresha0123. No mystery here. gmail.com. Just curious. You don't have to, I don't have to know who you are or whatever. I appreciate anybody that reaches out. Not many people do. Right, Megan? Well, you probably have more because people trust, because Megan was a member of the church, and she, she deconstructed probably about 5-6 years ago. She can tell you her story. She has her own channel, and it's amazing. She's really way, way better at explaining this stuff. Not this stuff, not the stuff I just dragged y'all through, I don't want to scare her too much, but I don't want to scare anybody. Anyways, so this says, due to all the craziness surrounding the ongoing Chad Daybell case, the word cult is being thrown around a lot. A lot of people are mistaken in thinking that the cult in question is the LDS Church. Though family of Lori Vallow's late husband, so this is my side of the family, have said it's the Preparing a People group that they're referring to. I myself have jokingly said there's a Doomsday cult within the church. As people start looking into this, you hear things tossed out about whether or not Chad Daybell is the leader of this cult. The thing about this is this group is centered around an ideology more than one person. We had one person say to us that this is a Hydra cult. There's many heads on this beast, and when you cut off one head, 2 more pop up in its place. I completely agree with this sentiment. The ideology of this group has formed over time thanks to additions of each new head that has popped up on this Hydra. The oldest idea I know of is surrounding the call out, which is, I shared that with you earlier, the call out. It was a voicemail that Julie Rowe did. That's not the only one, but it's this idea of the call out. I'm just saying that it's likely these things that are happening, like Julie Rowe, done a caca, and these people do talk in plain sight. We just have to learn to, look for it. Because, they're going to continue to do what they've always done because it works. Anyways, that's just my advice. So a man named Roger K. Young started a pay for forum called AVAL. Which is another voice of warning. It's now owned by a man named Christopher Perrett, where people could share their dreams and visions and discuss all things call out and preparedness related. Believers of the call out believe that before the tribulation period in the book of Revelation happens, a righteous group of members will be asked to leave their homes and their life behind. Which, I mean, if you think about what Lori and Chad proposed to April Raymond, or not, Lori proposed allegedly to April Raymond, like, you can't bring your kids, so it's a totally kid-free zone. Too many kids was the password for the Wi-Fi in Rexburg. That's what Alex set the Wi-Fi password as. Too many kids. So Lori, I mean, essentially she went from having a password that says 5 kids forever, like 5 kids, the number 4 ever, to 2000, here we are, fast forward through all the crap. And we're learning that, she went from that password to too many kids. So that is just, that is sends chills down your spine. So just know that. All right. So it says a righteous group, okay, will be asked to leave their homes and life behind and travel to special mountain camps set up by the LDS Church through the mountains of the Intermountain West. There are variations. And if you don't think that I don't think the church is involved, then, I mean, I really do think, they can't just do it, because, they have to have buffers and shell companies and stuff, in my opinion, allegedly, on another planet. So there are variations of exactly how this will happen, but most talked about it happening during a special Sunday meeting at church. Only those who meet the requirements are invited to attend. The requirements vary from being a totally active member of the church to having a temple recommend. Lori was going to kill or give me my temple recommend straight up. Then she did both. Or she killed. To have a year's supply of food storage and other supplies, including a nice tent. Yeah, not those shitty ones. Okay. They claim those that attend this meeting will be given special instruction via a broadcast to all the churches from the prophet. They will be given the rest of the day to gather their preps, which would be picked up the next day in large semis. Julie Rowe has peddled this for I don't know how long, for sure, and hauled to the camps. As the members get on special buses, they get on special buses, all right. They go on backwards too, to take them to these camps. Chad Daybell is a big believer of the call out and wrote a series of last days fan fiction that aren't so fan fiction novels about it. The belief surrounding a call out does not come from LDS doctrine, but instead comes from visions people have claimed to have had. One of the biggest contributors of this was a woman named Sarah Manette, who claims she has had a near-death experience during a failed suicide attempt. Roger K. Young promoted the book Sarah Manette wrote quite heavily on AVAL. A lot of them. I believe her book is still available for purchase on AVAL, as are Chad Daybell's and Julie Rowe's. Because of the nature of the call-out ideology of AVAL, because a forum mostly dedicated to preparedness and the study of eschatology, along with a heavy reliance upon the dreams and visions the members of the forum would share. And I mean, this is past tense, but I would say present, allegedly. I would say nothing's changed because nothing got exposed. Nobody was held accountable in any of these things. AVAL wasn't the only forum of this type. The call-out idea went out from AVAL to other forums. In 2006, a man named Denver Snuffer wrote a book called The Second Comforter. In it, he claimed to have had one-on-one visitation with Christ and gained his calling and election. We went over this earlier, kind of. Zalima was asking Chad, is this my calling and election? It's calling election made sure. It's called the more sure word of prophecy. I don't know. There's a few things. Okay. He then began teaching his formula to others so they too could get this as well. So see, it's like a recruiting thing, that right there. All right. His work became popular among these prepper forums. As time went on, Snuffer became more and more hostile to the leadership of the LDS Church. And I wonder if he got it and then he like called him out on it, is what I'm thinking sometimes. I'm like, did he get a second anointing, or did he go through this, whatever the hell's going on that Lori and Chad went through? And you remember how in the infamous Reddit email, or the zombie email that was posted on Reddit, it appears to be from Melanie Gibb and David Warwick, because Nate Eaton would outline, he would use everything that was in the infamous Reddit email. Like, all you gotta do is type that in. And he used that as an outline, basically. And so, like, he sent my mom a copy. It's not verbatim as the infamous Reddit email. It's like we all have different versions of it, but he still stuck to it to basically outline his interview with Melanie Gibb. And that's the first time we had ever heard of Melanie Gibb, was her East Idaho News interview / Dateline interview. So it's interesting that if it was David Warwick and Melanie Gibb who wrote this infamous Reddit email that got leaked or whatever, then why is Elder Ballard and Elder Renlund, why were they dubbed as two zombies? And if anybody has done any research into the second anointing ceremony and stuff of that nature, then I've always seen that it was like M. Russell Ballard and another apostle that would, kind of deliver thy message, allegedly. I don't know. Anyways, don't come at me. I'm just trying to figure this out. So just tell me I'm wrong. I'll take it. In 2013, Denver Snuffer was excommunicated. During this Denver Snuffer brouhaha, that's a funny word, on these forums, another book rose in popularity. The book is called Visions of Glory. And the Visions of Glory came out in 2012, which is right around the time that Tim Ballard started OUR. We know from Ryan Fisher, who co-host with Kara Burrell, aka Nuance Ho, aka the Timmy Said What podcast. Anyways, I've watched Ryan since before all that. Like, he had came out with a video and said that, he knew stuff about Tim Ballard and just this whole deal. And when he said what he said, when Ryan Fisher said what he said, I was like, oh my God. He was like the first person that like validated. He didn't even know he did all this, but he validated all the things I was thinking, and had been researching. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's it. That's what this is. This is what this is, y'all. And I mean, I don't have it verbatim right here, and I suck at recalling things, but it was something along the lines of Operation Underground Railroad. And at least Ryan Fisher said through Tom Harrison's, what it appeared to be for him of Tom Harrison's idea behind OUR would be that when all these calamities happen, from the second coming, wink, wink, that all the orphaned kids would, they would take care of them. Just the orphan kids and stuff. I'm good. My kids are good. All our kids are good. Don't touch our kids. Anyways, I'm just like, okay, well, that sounds a lot like Julie Rowe's crazy soul trafficking nonprofit organization. I'm like, prove it. Prove some soul trafficking, sister. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, shit, your family was raided, graded, dark, light, my whole lineage. Okay. Not just the ones we see on the paper. I'm just saying she sent those documents to him. And yeah, I know that because I had asked my mom at the same time, ironically, that about our family lineage, like my great grandfather, he was adopted. So I was like, I needed a hint so I could have another leaf. Okay. And so at the same time, so mom was like, oh, Mormons are really into that. She was like, I'll ask Lori. And so it didn't click for me. I never knew they were Mormon. Anyways, so mom texted me back, and she gave me I have some live photos of a computer screen, Mac. And so it was at Lori and Charles's house. And so my mom took screen, of the screen, of the computer screen of my family's lineage. So that I think that the same time Lori had sent my family's lineage to Chad for him to asking him to rate her family. So that's I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, and maybe there's not, but it sounds really coinky dink. So Visions of Glory came out in 2012. So then again, OUR 2013, and a lot of these other nonprofits. Julie Rowe was coming in behind 2015. Chad Daybell started his in 2004. I believe it's Spring Creek Book Company. But I mean, somebody else is on that business license or whatever. I don't know. So I need to look into it though. For Spring Creek Book Company, there's somebody on there, that doesn't want to be named or something. I don't know. So all right, let me get back on this. So the book was written by a man named John Pontius, who is an author many members of the LDS Church revered. Visions of Glory is beloved by most in these groups, even though there are some big doctrinal errors. John Pontius died, and so Spencer is the name he uses in the stories, in the alleged near-death experiences. I need papers. I need to see some damn flatline. Anyways, Spencer is Tom Harrison. So I'm going to say Tom. So Tom Harrison pushed the blame for the errors directly on Pontius. All during this time, a member of AVOW, who went by the avatar Fellow Dreamer, began to post her visions on AVOW. She would corroborate things like the call out and things in Visions of Glory. Well, I mean, her and Chad were going to meet with Tom Harrison in his Salt Lake City office so he could teach them how to portal. I mean, come on now. I got questions. Lots and lots of questions. So she would also rip things out of the headlines and claim that she saw that as well. I saw this with my own two eyes. I witnessed this for myself because she was like, oh yeah, talking about my uncle and how he was abusive to Lori and all kinds of effed up stuff that I could really sue the shit out of her for right now, running her damn mouth like that. No, but I mean, she was just talking out of her ass. And then she would say, oh yeah, I knew it was a bat. And you could tell she read the headline. Okay. I'm like, that's exactly what they said. Or she'd give it away a little bit and then she'd backtrack. It's kind of crazy. Okay. So she would rip things out of the headlines and claim that she saw that as well. Fellow Dreamer intrigued Chad Daybell, who got in contact with her, and together they wrote her near-death experience. I believe that. I believe together they wrote her near-death experience. I don't believe she had them. And now I think she's like, what, up to 50, 11 or something? I don't know. She's had so many, it's unreal. Then we figure out what Chad Daybell qualifies or defines a near-death experience as, and it's just a big belly flop. I don't think so, Chubbs. I don't think so. Oh, we've all had near-death experiences then. Anyway, so Fellow Dreamer is a woman named Julie Rowe. Her first near-death experience, alleged near-death experience, is called A Greater Tomorrow. Her first ND is called it? Great. Why would you name your ND? Anyways, her first book, I'll say, is called A Greater Tomorrow. Her book began very popular, not just among members of AVOW, but it spread all over LDS Facebook groups. People were giving copies of her book, sounds like Lori, when they were teaching or home visiting. Like Melanie Gibb was a home visiting teacher. She was a home visiting teacher for Zalema. Anyway, so they gave copies to all their family members. I had been a member of many LDS Facebook groups and forums, and I had never seen anything like this. Not only did Julie Rowe bring her visions about a call out to a wider audience, but she was a student of Bradley Nelson, an emotion code practitioner, Tony Robbins' bud. And Chad took the course, Tammy took the course, Zalema took the course, and yeah. Many women from these groups got into energy healing because Julie Rowe said God told her it was good. It was good in her near-death experience or her book. I don't know. And also that it was a special healing gift, save for us in the last days, to help people. I'm quoting air quotes, people when we were in the mountain camps. Julie Rowe was excommunicated last year. She is a huge proponent of the idea of multiple mortal probations, aka reincarnation, an LDS version of reincarnation. There we go. The thing about Julie is she tends to jump on bandwagons of something someone else in the group teaches. It seems MMP is popular amongst many heads of the Preparing a People Hydra. Chad Daybell, also another man claiming to be a visionary on AVAL. His name is Hector Sosa. Daybell publishes visions as well. There are so many heads in this Hydra. You have a man named Avraham Gileadi, who is a wannabe church scholar and has spread the idea that there will be a latter-day Davidic servant who will come from outside the church leadership to set things straight. And really, Avraham Gileadi, Tom Harrison, David Warwick, Karen Preer, like John Miller, I would say, like they're all like the OGs. Like this has been going on. And so the new people on the scene were Chad, Julie, Tim, they're the new school. And so out with the old, in with the new. That's these Hydra heads. I think that's why they repopulate. Okay, so it says there's a man named Shaun Littlebear, okay, who claims to be the one who can bring the Book of Lehi from his native tribe to the church, as well as bring the Ark of the Covenant from its hiding place to the new Temple, Jerusalem, thanks to his special bloodline and callings. But hold on, because I found this earlier, and I was like, I had never been able to find it until today. Because of I don't know if I just never saw it in this Facebook group. I'm looking for it. Hold on. Or if it, I don't know. I never could find it. It's just a little bitty clip. Where'd it go? Let me use my little toolbar, my little search. Nope, not under that name. Well, get me out of here. Oh, okay. All right. All right, let's see if it's here. See, Christ-centered energy healing. Is it an oxymoron? Oh my gosh. They have a lot of good things on here, though. Again, it's through an LDS lens, active LDS lens. This is another one. I watch all her damn videos, y'all. Millennial Reign. I watched all these things in the beginning, and I was like, that's what kept reiterating for me that Lori was not just some lone freaking zealot. Okay. It's crazy. And they go down in here. I mean, they throw down. So here it is.
His Jewish cousins, and they actually asked him because they know who he is. And it sounds like, according to these records, it's the Native Americans that have the Ark of the Covenant. And he said that they asked him, they felt that Shaun Littlebear is the only one who meets the credentials and matches the criteria for the one who is able to move the Ark of the Covenant into the temple because of who he is, because of his bloodline and his lineage. And he's got the Hebrew and the Jewish, and I mean, he even has the priesthood. And they said, you are the one who needs to move this ark. And they asked him if he would do that. And he has agreed to do that. And he said,
that lady is so happy. They call her the happy lady, and it's not by accident. So I've watched her videos. I have dug for this, just that little tidbit. I have these screenshots. This is Nancy Payne. This is, which is an interesting name. It goes, I mean, if we're to tie it into the 13 bloodline things. Anyway, so how you speak about others without quote unquote, she's shaming somebody in this. So y'all want to hear it? Nancy James and Mike James, they ran Preparing a People and Latter Day Media. And I want to say they own the Endura Wall, ENDURA Wall. They have all kinds of businesses. I think I have screenshots of their actual LinkedIn and other pages. And I'm like, holy crap, they have all kinds of businesses. So again, they just rebrand or go under another name because it's not that they started Latter-day Media after the fact, not, because of Chad and Lori. It's because they were already using Latter-day Media and they just kind of went more that way. So it's just interesting. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a good way. So Mormon funny. Oh my gosh. Yes. She's so happy. So happy. I mean, hey, I don't know. But so you see, it's like all these things and they get peddled by the next person, they like have this cred system built up and they endorse the next one and they vouch for the other one. And then if you don't vouch for them, then they all like team up on you and then they freaking do what Lori does. Okay, straight up. So this is about your post. This is Nancy. This is just breaking into one of these screenshots. She's telling somebody how you speak about others without walking in their moccasins, so to speak. About your post of Ezra Taft Benson. My great grandfather was Ezra Taft Benson's father's mission president. I mean, I have to sit there and think about that. I really do. And heard a voice on the hill Cumorah, which changed the missionary work in the church. Exclamation point, y'all. Ezra was asked by his father while in the mission field to read the Book of Mormon every day with the family while he was on a mission, leaving 7 children and a pregnant wife. Ezra did that, and he knew about that voice on Cumorah. That is why his father passed on, blah, 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 to his son. Just so you know, Shaun Littlebear is meeting with some of the 12 apostles. Well, I mean, that's pretty big right there, if you ask me. Shaun Littlebear is meeting with the damn 12 apostles. I mean, can we know more? Very soon, and will receive a special calling. He couldn't hold that calling until he was married, which we all know that he married Janelle Murphy, our friend. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I lost my spot. He couldn't hold that. So he had to get married in order to hold this calling or get the special calling, which is happening tomorrow. We are filming it. His brother has held LDS leadership callings for many years in Arizona. Uh-oh. His nephew is a bishop and he is a 7th-generation Mormon. His great-grandfather, this is funny because my dad used to say stuff like this. And I'm like, I hope you didn't fall for this. So his great-grandfather was the chief of all chiefs. I was like, oh my God. Anyways, what do you call it? I already messed it up. Anyway, so master of none. I don't know. Anyways, and he also came from native royalty on both sides, as well as the medicine healing calling from his mother's side. It matters. He holds going 90-0 on somebody that just probably said something like, are you, just questioning the things. Okay. This is retaliate. I mean, this is how they roll, all of them, in my opinion. So I just find that interesting. Just wanted to share that, and I'll read what was above it now. And it says, January 29, 2019, when Jesus said to his disciples, take heed that no man deceive you. This was not an idle warning. The Preparing a People conference and AVOW are working together. So was the Firm Foundation, and so was the Firm Expo. And I remember getting an email from the Firm Expo they were like, yeah, September 5th, 2021. And they were like, basically a breakup letter, like, hey, we're no longer rolling with those people over there. So like Rod Meldrum and Mike and Nancy James, like, they had a breakup, and it was interesting to watch that shit show go, back and forth. And I was like, Anyway, so it says, this was not an idle warning. I already said that. The Preparing a People conference and AVOW are working together to provide a platform for these false teachers who are deceiving others into following their message. Their deceptions are spreading like wildfire. This week, it is Chad Daybell and his false last days events timeline. But just last year, it was Shaun Littlebear that Nancy James from Preparing a People was trying to convince everyone that he was the one to follow. Many do not understand that real people are hurt by these deceptions. Families are torn apart When one member of the family has fallen for the deceptions and the others don't want to follow them, it divides families and friends. I mean, Adam, Lori, Janice, Summer, Charles, Alex, okay, Barry, I'm sure he's all up in there. But anyway, so, and then we're not even LDS and it touched our family. So, okay. So this poor lady attended one of these conferences where Shaun Littlebear told the audience that he had the book of Lehi, the book of Sarah, and the book of Sam. He went on to say that that he was the one chosen, like the one mighty and strong, and only one. Oh my gosh. He went on to also say that he was the one chosen and only one worthy by the Jewish people to move the Ark of the Covenant into the Jewish temple. It's so hard to read sometimes. This poor lady was so excited and made a YouTube video. Ow, ow, ow. Made a YouTube video out of all the things she learned from Shaun Littlebear. I tried to make it as small as possible to hide her identity. She is the innocent victim here. But the victim thing, okay. But when people started questioning these claims, Nancy was right there to try and convince people that Shaun Littlebear was just about to receive a special calling from the brethren. We are still waiting for Shaun Littlebear to be presented before the church for the special calling. Don't forget to push play to hear the audio. Anyway, so I shared that with y'all. That looks like something Megan has said before. You know, flocking to the Intermountain West. Anyways, maybe. Let's see. Go back to this one. Nope, it's not that one. I have so many of them open because I'm jumping around. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So back to this. It says, all right, there are so many heads to this Hydra. You have a man named Abraham Gigliotti. Oh, no, I was right here. Then we have Mike Stroud. So then we get to Mike Stroud, who was excommunicated last year, which is 2019. He is a retired seminary teacher. Okay, he taught Jason Mao seminary, and now Jason Mao is a seminary teacher. So he is molding the minds of young Mormons. Okay. All right. Then, okay, so he must have had a profound effect on him. He is a retired seminary teacher who also is a believer of the Snuffer doctrines of how to gain your calling and election and being personally taught by Christ himself. And that when this happens, he claims you become a translated being and one of the 144,000 spoken of in Revelation 7. That would be Lori and Chud and Zalima and Melanie Gibb. He also teaches that men need to use their priesthood more fully so they can open what? Portals for travel and to command the elements. He teaches a deliverance doctrine, which is exactly what they should be calling instead of castings and cast out, you know, they should be calling it a freaking exorcism because that's what they were actually doing, thinking or whatever. He also teaches that men need to use their priesthood more fully. Okay, I already said that. And he teaches a deliverance doctrine that all sickness, listen, okay, JJ had autism and ADHD. Tylee, she had pancreatitis. And so I'm just saying, just keep that in, pin that, all right? That all sickness, physical or mental issue is because you are effing possessed. So everybody, I mean, doesn't everybody have a freaking problem? I mean, not everybody has good days. Okay. Not even a happy lady. So to heal, he was teaching men to give what he called quorum blessings, which is a group of 4 men. Okay. 4 men who are fully using their priesthood and aware. Aware is that keyword that Lori uses when she's like, yeah, Jason Mao's like, I knew, I looked into your eyes and you were one of us, a gatherer. And she talks about being awake and aware and all the things. All right. So, which is a group of 4 men who are fully using their priesthood and quote unquote aware and to cast the demons out and then pronounce healing upon people. Stroud is also a huge believer in the book Visions of Glory. Stroud started a podcast where he taught this interpretation of the Book of Mormon from the stance of his Snuffer and Spencer beliefs. So anything that doesn't align, I noticed that the LDS active, like these people right here, through the lens of a believing member of the church, whomever is just kind of on that fringe is kind of, they kind of label them all as that, but I mean, I get it. He also teaches that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a celestial church, and that when you get your calling and election, which is your that special calling, that mission, I guess you would say, via his methods, then you are entering a terrestrial church. So here's the celestial, which is the earthly realm. Then there's the terrestrial church, which is the plane above earth now. So that is the second level. So that's terrestrial. So that's where the Church of the Firstborn is. It's actually a level above this. And so there is scripture. I want to say, I do believe I've read this many times, but can I pinpoint it? No. That the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will actually turn bad. Like it will become corrupt. Some might think it already is, Anyways. So it's like that there's so many things working against people who are actually just kind of caught in the middle of this and maybe find themselves like, I don't know, up from down anymore. Like I can see that happening because it's a very slippery slope. And it's like you get this over here and then over here, they have the rest of the story, so to speak. And the rest is freaking history, in my opinion. So it says, you're entering a terrestrial church, which is called the Church of the Firstborn. This is not an actual church. Can I get an amen, please? Because it's not. It's a symbol. It's like a title. Anyway, so this is not an actual church among these groups, but more a title and status symbol. You heard it here. Okay. If you look at Stroud's teachings, and I have, oh my God, I have. If you look at his teachings, they are very much in line with the things we know Lori Vallow believed it. There are many other people in these circles we could talk about, but this just gives you an idea about the many heads within these circles. During all of this, a group called Preparing a People came about. There were already conferences going on among the LDS prepper crowd. One was put on by Firm Foundation, which was headed by a man named Rod Meldrum. Another wannabe church scholar who has what is known as the Heartland theory, right? Which I actually thought was interesting. Basically, he believes that the Book of Mormon geography is set in North America and not South America. So there's the Mesoamericans or whatever, and then there's the Heartlanders, and they're both trying to find out corroborate things in the Book of Mormon geography. Allegedly. Okay, so all right, then we go down here. The biggest problem with Rod Meldrum is he became so fixated by this that he has allowed himself to become affiliated with Preparing a People and all these crazy groups, and then took on some of their ideology. We were also told that at some point his wife, Tanya Holyoke, I remember her name. I can't. Where'd I go? Okay, so we were also told that at some point, Rod's wife allegedly was an emotion code practitioner. Another one. We are not sure if she still is, but it's been told to us this way. It's been told to us this was why Bradley Nelson had been involved in at least one Firm Foundation conference. Allegedly, he, along with the Jameses, who run Preparing a People, and Shaun Littlebear, thought they found the missing 116 pages of the Book of Mormon, and Meldrum became so obsessed with proving his theory that he would publish anything if he thought it proved him right. Well, I mean, did he publish this? I mean, what? People kept trying to say Chad was trying to do this too. And I was like, what are you talking about? Rod Meldrum's conferences were becoming so popular that Mike and Nancy James set up Color My Media and began organizing conferences where all the above mentioned people taught at, and Tim Ballard and Glenn Beck and freaking Senator Mike Lee, U.S. Senator Mike Lee. anyways, they had podcasts where all these people taught their heresies from. They had seminars and courses, special videos series you could buy. You just saw Chad's earlier of him talking to all the famous people that are dead. And so there's that. They were extremely close to Chad Daybell, who by now was claiming he actually had near-death experiences and visions as well. Belly flops. Lori Vallow was also doing podcasts for Preparing a People. Time to warrior up. Yeah. Among the people of AVOW and other Facebook groups, people like Daybell and Rowe are referred to as little p prophets, whilst President Nelson is a capital P prophet. But then I heard like jail phone calls between Lori and Colby and stuff. And I was like, she's saying follow the prophet, like Nelson, like I don't, that's anyway. So that's just know that. So when they lose one, there's others in place and others waiting in the wings to join. People in these groups also think that all the known false prophets, Snuffer, Rowe, Stroud, started out legit, but then became deceived. No. I don't agree with this. They became deceived. No. 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 The devil didn't make them do it. All right. So they still will hold on to the initial teachings they came out with. Also, every once in a while, people let slip that there's some strange things going on among the inner circles, brown chicken, brown cow, of all these core Hydra heads people. There's multiple cults of personality going on simultaneously, but getting solid information is hard. Yeah, because they all talk in circles. So how do people get sucked into all of this? Friends and family members bring them in. Lori, Melanie, you just think about that, Alex. Anyway, emotionalism and fear. What? Her mama and Summer and her daddy, they went to one Preparing People conference to support everybody else. They were like, I was going to support Melanie, and then the other one's like, I was going to support Summer. I was going to support Lori. It was really odd. Can you just say I went on my own free will? All right. Or agency. All right. So how do people get stuck? Okay. Emotionalism and fear, especially last days fear, is used, but also pride is paramount. Oh, yes. Oh, God, yes. Ego, man. Members are being told that they can be saved from doomsday destruction. Yes, but it goes far beyond that. It goes into next life salvation. After reading and Preparing a People course on how to have visions and visionary dreams, they will use people such as Korihor. We heard it in Chad Daybell's preliminary hearing from Melanie Gibbs to Lori. Korihor was born. A Book of Mormon, Antichrist, to compare to those who don't believe in their dreams. They use a lot of out-of-text scripture and church leader quotes, which they will redefine words like meditation, for example. They use quotes talking about how great meditation is, but then define it as the same thing as Eastern meditation, like Reiki and stuff, or Kundalini. And then they set the definition of the idea spoken of. It's pretty insidious when you look at it. They also will name or calling drop. Yeah. Lori did that on her insurance call. When they rejected her and she found out hers was not getting the $1 million, she was like, yeah, she did that whole Jody Hildebrandt move where Jody Hildebrandt was like, I'm on your side. She told that to the policemen, who sat her down in the room to question her finally. And she tried to act like she was good. She belongs on their side. She's not the criminal here. She's the victim. But Lori did this also, this dropping. She's like, oh, she did the poor mouth thing where she's like, I have a 7-year-old with autism, that we adopted together. And my husband does insurance. This is, we deal with all these companies. And she tried to make it, she tried to give herself credibility. Anyways, something I noticed. So it's pretty, okay. It says they also will name or calling drop to make what they do look more legit. Melanie Gibb in the police station talking to the police with Lori and Tylee, talking about Jason. Oh, he's a policeman on the side of the road. Oh my God, right? Anyway, so a member of our page sent us a PM. We're almost done. Sent us a PM that Nancy James sent them sent them when they spoke out against Shaun Littlebear. We will include that for you to read as well. It's a great example of the tactics used. Nancy James brings up a position her mother had in order to further her agenda. She brings up how her grandfather knew President Benson. Okay, you see what's happening here? She brings up a general authority's name to add credibility. No proof, just name dropping. She then brings up how his nephew is a bishop, calling dropping. So many of these things are bought by members because they are too trusting of anyone claiming to be a member of the church. I'll say naive, maybe. Or because someone told them someone involved was a bishop or someone knew a general authority. People claim energy healing is good because this prophet or that prophet does it. Well, with no real proof, mind you. And even if Nancy James' grandfather knew President Benson, does that excuse the false doctrine she is disseminating? No, I agree. Members of the church need to heed these warnings. And so Matthew 7:15, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Also, they will say that there may be something from Satan come, like a counterfeit dream. But in the dreams and visions course from Preparing a People, you see they say that most dreams come from God. Lori, right? They are trying to get you to let your guard down. Just because a member is selling you something, it doesn't mean you have to buy it. Be very careful who you trust and stick to sound doctrine. Otherwise, it can put you in dangerous territory. Oh, yes, right. I think we can all agree on that. All right. Oh, damn. I made it 3 hours and 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. Yes, there is a link. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. And so I'm going to put it in the chat and I'll go and I'll put these in the description box whenever I'm done, whenever we end. So this is it right here. So, all right. Yes. I've been listening to everything Christian Megan research and share, and I have come to my conclusion that Joseph Smith has deceived millions. Agree. There's a God in Satan. Oh yeah. Very real. Yeah. Energy healing is new age practice. No real Christian would have anything to do with it. We say that, but then there's things that I've done or through my research and I'm like, oh shit. Well, I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I don't think it hurts to do just a little self-reflection, a little self-inventory if you're really serious about it. If not, keep on trucking. But I mean, that's why I'm no better than the next person. We're all human. And the only way through this or to the end of this is through this. So, I mean, we win, good wins and prevails in the end. We know that. But, do we know? My mom always said, sweep around your porch. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? That means mine. Make sure you're all good before you go. And, you know what I mean? Yeah, most dreams begin with thoughts before sleep and meaner through free association, idea to idea. It's you, not generally God. That's true. It's our subconscious. Yeah. Do you know if the Cox family is related to prominent historical Mormon families? Megan would know that. Yeah, I just have a little sliver of a printout of their lineage because they put their account on private when all this stuff happened. So, Meander. Okay. Thank y'all so much. We are human, not perfect, but we are to be good to each other. But we all are special to God, the Creator, not man, saying they are the Messiah. When I hear anyone say that, I run, right? Yeah, I agree. I mean, just a messenger, right? Hey, Natalie. How you doing? You're welcome, Desert Rain. Thank you for being here and for sharing. It's the only way to learn. That's the only way I learn is just reading y'all's comments. I've learned so much from reading other people's comments. It's a gold mine for real. It really is. And nobody's really like when we're leaving comments like this, we're not like thinking that future us, future people are going to maybe one day read our comments and be like, oh, okay. Now I kind of get the flow of the conversation. I see, what people were thinking and, anyways, I know it's weird. I'm weird. You're excited for tomorrow. Oh man. I don't know what I feel. Anxious? I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Is she going to rest tomorrow? So what time do y'all think? Oh, thank you, Rowan, to you. Glad to see you here. I always love when you are here. Because I need to schedule it. And I saw that Fox 10 had scheduled it for 1:00 p.m. But I'm like, is that my time? Is that theirs? I hate the time difference. It screws with me so bad. And I've scheduled things wrong because of that before. Even though I'm aware of it, I just kind of, I don't know. So I don't know when, but I'll find out unless y'all know. Jury may need 5 minutes, right? So we're going to have I did write it down for what it's worth. My chicken scratch. So final trial management conference, which will be for Brandon, I do believe. So I was just kind of jotting it. It says to discuss remote questionnaire and confirm if all good to go for second trial for May 14th at 10 a.m. So the final trial management conference is for the second trial is May 14th at 10 a.m. State says she has to notify victim of this hearing. So let's maybe not think that they're going to not have a second trial because they're scheduling for it. So I know there's people, I've heard this around the streets, that they won't have that trial. And I'm just like, well, then why would they be scheduling for it? Anyway, so she has to notify the victim of this hearing. And if he's not okay with it, she will notify the court. At that time, they'll set modifications of any of to the previous questionnaire. They'll discuss exact timing of the questionnaire, probably May 21st and sometime into May 27th because the 26th is a holiday. Meet on May 29th to go over those responses from the remote questionnaire. I was writing really sloppy. I don't know what it says. Pro something. So May 29th at 1 p.m. All right. That'll be for going over the responses from the remote questionnaire. All right. So then it says defense asked about her being served. So Lori was served with notice of 404B coming in. So the judge says we'll discuss on May 14th at 10 a.m. He proposed June 2nd through June 6th, Monday through Friday for the second trial, may be in different courtroom. June 9th through 13th, may cancel that Friday the 13th. Is he superstitious? I chuckled at that. He's dark on the 16th through the 20th, June 23rd through the 25th, and June 30th through the 3rd, maybe. I don't know. Lori's trial was 8 trial days and they had scheduled 21. So anyways, it was a lot of scheduling crap, but this is nothing to do with what's going on tomorrow. So yeah, Megan probably knows. So head over to her channel and I'm sure she knows. Not non, it's noon. Okay, I was like, what are you trying to do? Some Jody Hildebrandt trickery? It is not noon. It is not nonchalant. I saw somebody's screen name is that, and I thought, I laugh. I'm not nonchalant. Okay, 1 o'clock. Thank you, meme of 8. Mimi of 8. 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Thank you so much. So that's 2 o'clock here, Central, if you're Central, and that's 3 o'clock if you're Eastern. Correct. Don't depend on me for that. I'm away. Haha, that explains 808. Her green chili and stenchiladas, we'll call them the stenchiladas. Oh, I wonder if Brandon's trial will have Trina as prosecutor. Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. Yeah, because I mean, she's expedited all the other things, and yeah, pretty sure you're gonna be on here with because I didn't have to. I've had a couple days to recoup. Okay, y'all, she wipes my ass out, and I'm sorry for saying it like that, but she does. Like I mean, from over remote viewing, okay, literally, and 11 Central. Oh shit! No, we're ahead. They said 1. So we're ahead, right? Oh, hell. Okay, Donna, thank you. Donna says noon Central. Okay, so be there or be square, meaning be here. Okay, 11 o'clock jury instructions. AZ is Mountain Time, but what? AZ is Pacific Time right now. I know. Oh my God, it is. Okay, so let's stop. I'm really getting confused. Yes, it's going to be the same judge from the looks of it. So, which is awesome, right? It's a perfect, he is the perfect patience to her, antagonism. No, we are slow time. Central is 11. If 2, okay. I'll believe you. I don't know. If it's 2, if it's 11 there, Pacific, then it's 12 Mountain. It's 1 Central, and then it would be 2 Eastern. But that's me on my fingers. So we are slow time. We need to all be on the same damn time. AZ is Pacific time right now. She says, I promise. Okay. All right. Well, just be here. Promise me you'll be here. That's all we need. All right. Thank y'all for being here. If y'all have any questions, I mean, again, just kind of touching back to where we started and what's really going on and how this is, I mean, just percolated. Yes, it's money, power, sex, and it all, the responsibility, of course, lands back on Lori and Chad and Alex, if you were here. Yeah, but these ideas, this sickness is in this warped thinking and casting out devils because someone has a mental issue, mental illness, or a anything. Basically, if you read Mike Stroud, anything, any damn thing that's plaguing you is a demon that can be cast out. And okay. Oh, thank you, Humanimal. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're doing well. Be there or be square, Donna says. AZ is Mountain Time, says JoJo. And so we'll continue the argument down below. Anyways, thank y'all so much for being here. Money, power, sex, and religion. And belief. I don't know what it is. It's crazy. I'll tell you that. They use abuse tactics. Love bombing. Oh my God. I used to not know these things. Gaslighting, love bombing. And then going through this, doing the difficult research, along with everything else at the same time. I mean, I'm just like, wow. And then I kind of factored into my own world, my own system, it's like, holy crap. It's so important. It's so important to learn these things because we all do it. We do. Knowingly or not. Some people know they're doing it and, they plotting. So, all right, guys. Love you guys. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Oh, gosh. Ooh, I just got a big old butterfly in my stomach. I really, Uncle Charles. Justice for Uncle Charles right now. And Brandon. Let's do this. All right. 1-2 punch. All right. Bye, guys. See you on Monday.